Come to my left.
Alright, people, we are live! Back again. And it's Beastie.
That's right, I'm here. I'm back to haunt you.
Depends on how you look at things. We have a really exciting matchup here. Louis playing his first game on stage.
Wow, the world is about to see what Louis looks like. We don't want to brag, but we've seen...
Well,
okay, well, like, on camera.
okay, on camera, right,
It's
yeah.
first time, come on.
So, there's 2 pictures of Louis that exists as far as I'm aware.
And neither of them are him.
That is that one. And then there's another one that we used for a while where it's like leaning back in this on the railing. And then he sent the new one because didn't like how it looks for EGC.
I haven't seen that one. The leaning one?
Yeah,
I've seen this one though. But he's very young here.
Anyways, Byzantines versus Rus on the first matchup on Lipany.
I already got some inside information. Ooh. So I went to the bathroom and Kiljardi was there.
Ooh.
And I said, Kiljardi, do you have this? And he said, I got this. I don't know why I did that accent. Yeah.
No.
He said he's going to do a special build. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh.
Yeah, a Kiljardi special, if you will. And I said, okay, let's see how it goes.
I'm scared to know what a kiljardi special is. Because the only thing I can think of is the fact that it's not Pro Scout Rus and it's Fast Knight Rus. Because he likes aggression.
Let me put it this way. It's either going to go really well or we're going to be like, yeah, that makes sense. So we'll see which one it is.
I mean, we've got a sneak peek there.
Oh, oof, there it is. There it is. There's Louis, guys.
Oh my god, guys, look.
World first.
World first.
That's right. And there's Kiljardi. Look at him.
That's not a world first.
He's our resident grandpa here.
All right, anyways, first game, loueMT on the Byzantines, kiljardi on the Rus, starting with the 2-scout opener. So, do you think there's ever a point where you go 3-scout opener as Rus?
I go 3 scouts every game.
You do?
Yeah, I like it. Sometimes you find like an extra sheep or 2. I guess it also depends where the scouts go, but I like to go for it, and you're going to build it anyway. You know, and it doesn't delay the age up that much because you just have so many workers and food, so I think it's all right.
All right. I mean, you usually end up having like 13, 14 on food, right? So then at that point, you're kind of just like...
But if you can get 2 extra sheep, that's 400 food, so...
It is, right?
It's quite good.
And as well, right, we have seen Cat do it a lot. I've seen him do it a lot, not on stage though. He has been like pushing the deer, like the closest deer pack, while he's getting pro scouts.
Yeah, so that's another reason why I like 3 scouts. You can push with 2, but you know, the more you have, the easier it is. So, and then while you're aging up, you can build another 1 or 2, so you're pushing with like 4 or 5 scouts. So I think it's in general really good. And there it is, 3-something scouts. I don't know how many that is. Tell me.
I mean, I would say it's 210 food, but it's less now.
Right. So anyway, let's see how many sheep we got. He's got about, what is that, 6? Yeah, 6 sheep going back. He might find a couple of more, but it's normal to lose sheep wars against Rus. Yeah. And as Byzantines, you know, good thing is you don't need as many, right? So it's not a disaster if you're like French or something. And I'm excited for Kiljardi special here. Yeah,
I'm excited for what it is. I mean, so far it seems to just be normal Pro Scout. We'll have to see how it goes. I mean, nothing special. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like Louis has a really good spawn with his berries and like the gold in the back. Yeah. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how Louis decides to play this one. Louis is a bit wild, like he can go for like Keshik or something. Actually, the last time I played Louis, but I was playing French, I think, he played Keshik Limitane, and I was like, what is going on here? So he can be spicy with Byzantine. Like, I wouldn't exclude longbows or javelins or Keshiks from him. It kind of depends what he likes to go for. The rest of the bears are kind of to the side, so he doesn't have any super forward, so I think he's probably going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the spawn is very similar to what you had against them in that game, though. In terms of like actual like spawn location, just like flip like 2 wood forward and then like berries and berries and gold in the back, right?
Scripted.
So, kinda. I mean, we have script writers here, right?
Right.
It's worth noting that. What their job is, I won't say.
They don't get paid.
None of us get paid. Except the players, actually.
Right. Makes sense. So we see 5 on the age up. So it will be Pro Scout. We see 4th Scout coming out. So he will be doing that. Let's see if he's gonna do the deer pushing. You know, sometimes I see players pushing a deer and they mess it up. And then it's like they're pushing 4, but there's 3 behind.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I keep going or do I just give up? We see Louis there aging up finally. And so far, it looks like Louis will be going for probably just loueMT, which mercenaries we'll see, and maybe try to deny the pro scouting. And yeah, Barracks is already done, so he's cooking.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things, though, it's like, which always just feels so pointless to me when you're like, okay, let me just let me just torch a building I can reach. And it's like, okay, but what are you actually getting out of it?
It's actually really good.
You
Because
think? Oh, when you force
wanna
drop
force
up.
drop, you start repairing.
Of course.
And so if you do force drop, obviously you're not going to repair all the way, but then you have to click back on gold. And it's kind of annoying. Sometimes
and you might use the wood.
Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you need the wood and it wastes wood or something.
Went down by 1 there.
Right. So it's kind of annoying, but you got nothing better to do, so you might as well. Although pushing deer is a pretty good thing to do, so he doesn't decide to do that. One of his deer packs, by the way, is in the corner, so that's pretty far away. And there's kind of only one entry point if it's in the corner, right? So it's going to be easy to put a loueMT or 2 and just deny those. But
is that a kiljardi special or a loueMT special?
Which one is that? The walls? Nah, that's just he's just being careful a little bit. No, loueMT would have had a full wall already.
Oh yeah, true. It would have
Yeah.
So he would have walled in the deer at this point.
Okay, he half full.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll see double products coming, and that's kind of telling you a little bit what he's gonna go for. And we do see javelin throwers coming out, so pretty standard from Louis. And there's the Louis walls. Those are Louis walls.
Those
actually.
are Louis walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he actually has a turn in them, right?
Right. He walls in his food, you know, he's cooking, but Louis loves his walls, you know, you can't blame him. So yeah, pro scouting is coming, and I'll just give you a little hint. Actually, I'm just gonna tell you the whole plan. There's gonna be a lot of archers.
Ooh.
That's his plan, and I was like,
okay,
all
yeah.
right.
So, funnily enough, his friend, actually loueMT, in the King of the North qualifier, he won one of his games by making, I think at one point, he had 75 archers.
Well,
just as
feudal?
Rus. Yeah, in feudal as Rus.
Well,
That's
I mean, if you upgrade them, that's really great. And Kiljardi actually opting to yoink the 2 deer from across the map first, and he gets spotted immediately. So this is great if it works out and you don't get spotted. But if you get spotted, it's like, well, I could have pro scouted my side and already got to like 4 deer for this time. So good reaction from Louis. You know, javelin throwers are coming out, and the only thing I'm curious is if Louis will fully commit to feudal and denying pro scouts, or sometimes people go like, you know what, I'll make like 10 javelin throwers, 10 loueMT, and then just age up after that and continue the play. He sees the archer now, so he knows at least there's archer range.
So, I have a follow-up question here, though, and this is looking further into the game, potentially if we get there. Javelins or longbows versus horse archers?
I mean, javelin throwers are just better if microed well, and also you get camels, which is really, really big. But javelin throw micro is pretty hard, so sometimes it's better to have longbows because they're easier to use, even at the top level. I mean, the amount of microing you need to do, and then every time you move back to javelin throwers, all the shift queuing you've done, you have to reset all of that. So
yeah, and the problem as well is they're fast, and so they start kiting, and now your jabs start running, and now you're
running.
Like,
so it's like if you move them, you're canceling all the stuff you've done. And we see Louis is not opting to fight at all. He's actually saying, you know what, I denied a couple of deer. I'm just gonna go fast age up, and Kiljardi is doing the Kiljardi special, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make a lot of archers, but he doesn't know that his opponent is not interested in that.
I'm glad he's not a chef, because his special sucks.
Yeah, I mean, no one's eating it. Louis at least is not. He's not interested at all. He's actually just passing. He ordered a cup of tea, and he's just gonna move on from there. So Kiljardi kind of, see, this is one of those where when you're cooking, but you just like, you overcook, and then the stuff starts burning down. So Kiljardi thought that Louis is going to commit to full feudal, so he went like 3-4 archer ranges because it's unexpected, and Louis actually just aged up. So now this play is not looking good.
I mean, it is a great thing that you can do, right, though, because, like, your macro now is very heavily set up on the wood, right? You have like this split, right? You have more villagers on wood, and you get a lot of extra, right? But you don't really need to change your macro that much as Rus, because you can be like, oh, I'm floating. Okay, cool. Let me just sell it. And then we have gold, and I was like, yeah, look, like he just sold a bunch of wood, and he moved back to food, and now he has gold again.
There's a reason we banned this hit.
Yeah.
So,
well, clearly not, because.
Well, you know, some people do, some don't, I guess. But now he just put all the workers on food, so he realizes what's going on. He realizes, oh wait, there's no units on the map. He's not trying to prevent me from doing pro scouting, so he is rushing to the age up. And obviously with deer, that's going to be pretty quick. But as Rus, you do not want to be aging up second. Like, that is not your ideal situation. You're the one that's supposed to be aging up first and going for high tier units. So
right, you get those knights, get those horse archers. They're pretty quick, right? It's really nice to get those horse archers out real quick. And remember, you have warrior monks as well. So, you know, being a little bit behind and giving about, I want to say like a minute, maybe even a free relic in quotation marks in terms of time over to Louis. It's pretty, I mean, kind of sucks. And he's actually going for 2 of them. So he really wants to use that castle advantage that he has for a little bit now and actually use that to soak up the relics before there's a lot of units for kiljardi to actually be able to contest them.
Yeah, so Louis did see archers, but I wonder if he knows how many archers, because he might be confused, like why am I aged up and why is he not aged up? So he might be like a little bit confused, like the timings are off. And then we see the kiljardi run by, the kiljardi special. This is the dessert, actually.
I mean, what I'm seeing right now is like, okay, this is like perfect, right? You see a bunch of army there, and it's going to be like, okay, cool. Let me just throw away my archers. I won't probably need them anyways. Let me just get a little bit of an equal lead here. And you can see that, right? Being able to pick up one after another here should be able to get at least 2 villager kills.
Nah.
Wheelbarrow.
Oh, yeah, he's running into the TC a little bit. I mean, this is very annoying. It's like when you age up, you need gold. So the fact that he can't mine it is just super, super annoying for him. And he's got a lot of food. And he's still got 23 on food. So he actually needs to do something with the economy. And I'm not sure what he goes. He goes into knights from here. There is no crossbows. There's very low amount of loueMT, so that's a good choice. But he needs to actually deny or take the relics even better.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see here as well how it goes, right? Being able to actually at least, you know, you're throwing away these archers, you're kind of done with them anyways. But getting this amount of idle time is actually really, really nice as well. Yes, you're throwing away, but he did at least get 2 villager kills, cost a lot of idle time, spotted the Varangians as well, so he should know that, in my head right now, kiljardi should just go knights crossbow.
Yeah, I mean, he's 3 villagers ahead, so that's pretty nice, but there's 3 relics in the back now for Louis, and that is extremely painful, because as Rus, you're the one that usually gets, like, I would say a minimum of 3, sometimes even all 5. He's gonna run into one of the monks
that's
here,
my
but... Oh, across okay.
Oh, actually, nice pinch there, really, really nice.
Pull the boar. Do it.
Aye.
Wow. I'm disappointed.
So yeah, at least, I mean, that's maybe 3 for kiljardi still on the table, right? Hello? Sir. Ah, he spotted him.
And Louis, again, you know, he loves his walls. He's going for another layer over here. I think he was walling earlier, and either this wolf got the kill.
No, he had it all the way back. But
yeah,
so here's the thing for me as well, right? Like, this is a bigger question, is like, is it actually worth sending 3 vills out there? He has textiles, so he's not going to lose them, but the idle time, right? And I don't know how many dares is actually left there, but I'm expecting it to be only maybe like 3 or 4. So, okay, sure, you can always just move back out to them, but the idle time you're using here to get that is just like too big for me to almost justify it. But you can look at this, like Louis is even pushing some further walls all the way into the middle as well.
Yeah, and we see that the pro scouting, I mean, he did get deer, but he actually didn't finish pro scouting his side either. So, you know, in this situation, I would say you're probably supposed to get like 21. Like maybe opponent can deny 7 by doing a wall or something, but I think Louis probably denied like 11 or 12, which is quite a big deal in any matchup.
So, okay, so we do see kiljardi now going into nice horse archers here, coughing a little bit on screen. This feels kind of nice. It feels pretty okay, like the Limitania mass for Louis isn't there. So going full cavalry right now, pretty good all things considered, but the Javelin mass is the thing I'm kind of worried about. especially when it comes to the horse archers.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Louis went that far out. I don't know where his scout is exactly, but it seems like Kiljardi was just sitting with up there. Well, okay.
Castle curse.
He was sitting in his base with the knights, and Louis just had javelins out on the map, and losing that many javelins is really, really bad because you cannot just mass them at this point in the game. You can mass them later on, but right now it's a little bit harder to get those in. And we see right now Louis' two town centers. The problem is he has no farm transition, and the bears that are available to him are right from his base that is super, super open. So he might have food issues very, very soon, and that also means no more mercenaries.
Yeah, I mean, usually you also have like a berry patch like Kiljardi does, right? Which is like at least somewhat in the back, but like everything from Louis is just forward. I mean, I think he's already eaten one of them at least, but right now the mobility that Kiljardi has, right? And I think Kiljardi knows and at least has a feeling of the 2TC. It looks like he's going up to 2TC himself as well shortly. And we actually do know that Louis did mine a little bit stone, so he didn't use his passive stone regeneration for that. But right now, it's actually really hard for Kiljardi to properly hit Louis' eco, because normally at this point you'd be like, okay, yeah, let me just hit his farms. And it's like, you mean singular farm.
It's one of those things. It's like, oh, it can't attack anything, but it's at the same time, it's like, oh, he has no farms. What I'm surprised about is Louis is just, does he have archer ranges? I mean, he just saw like 20 knights there. And yeah, there's just no archer range at all. And this is a very dangerous game he's playing, because this amount of knights you cannot deal with just loueMT, because if they fight on a choke, the knights are going to be a lot better. And these are very, very big numbers. 90 knights. I mean, even if he has 20 loueMT, that is not enough. And he has 6.
Yeah, at this point in the game, you need spear crossbow. Like, you need that spear crossbow comp. And it was one of the things I actually talked with Valdemar about last game, when I think it was Kiljardi who was playing versus Cat, the Dele game. It's like, okay, at this point in the game, you kind of just go spearmen, crossbow, and javelins. It's a pretty okay comp, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, it works against anything. You know, it stops the night charge, and we see some farms. Now, one thing that I do know in this situation, whenever Louis feels he's behind...
you're not getting that quick wall, buddy.
A bit too late. Whenever he feels he's a little bit behind as Biz, he loves to throw down, like, crazy amount of towers and just upgrade them immediately, because the Byzantine ones are very hard to deal with and take proper engagements in. So we'll see if he's going to decide to do that. Cistern only level 2.
Yeah, and these Mangonel towers, like, even though like you might have like a full surround of melee units, it's still that AoE damage that hits everyone, right? Because you clump so much. The only like maybe good melee unit to actually burn them is like maybe Abbasid failing Spearman.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying because when you fight and the Byzantine player like drags you through the towers, because you don't know how many there are, and sometimes they make them like 5 in their base, and as you're getting kited, you kill one and you go for engage, and there's like another one and another one, so you just end up bleeding units. We see Louis got some breathing space. Kiljardi triple sacred side, so that is ticking. He added a second TC, so he's playing really well, to be fair. And you know, it's one of those things. It's a mix of, I think Kiljardi is now slowly coming back, playing really well. Maybe Louis nerves getting to him a little bit. First time on stage.
First time on stage. First time having a camera in his face while playing.
That's right. We've only seen a picture of him. He's like one of those extinct animals that you've never seen on camera, just a picture. We don't know if it's real, what's going on.
But one thing I have to commend Louis, though, again, especially with all these knights roaming around, he's found some really nice spots to actually wall and close up the map when he can. So, like, Kiljardi himself, and you know this, like, he's old, he doesn't like multitasking.
He's very old. He's very old.
He likes to play versus Demu, because Demu doesn't multitask, because he's old. But Kiljardi is older.
Yeah, Kiljardi actually yesterday, he got up and threw out his back.
Oh.
Yeah, so
makes sense.
Is at that point, and you know, he had to sit on a chair for 30 minutes, and he complained about that his back now hurts and his leg hurts, so we might have like a 2-hour break after this game for him to like get some cream on his hands or something. We'll see. I don't know. And that's insane.
That's a really good scout, though. That one camel is, well, his purpose was served, and some more.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, okay, a little bit forward in front of his base, sure, but that's just, don't do this at home. Even if it works, don't do it.
I mean, no, you should do it at home, because that's where...
Right, literally do it at home, but don't do this, what he's doing at home, because that is just crazy. That is such an unnecessary risk, I feel like, that might backfire super, super bad on him right now.
Sure, it's only 8 villagers against a full mass here. I mean, the javelin numbers are unprotected here, should be able to get a good charge in here as well. And the surround here, he could have stucken that one out a little bit, but he needs to cancel, and that is so much time and resources. He's gonna move it further back, and how far back is the question. He's doing it at home.
Wow. I mean, who could have seen that one coming? Not kiljardi.
Not kiljardi.
I can tell you that. So, yeah, that is bad news, because not only you got cancelled, but now you basically gave your opponent information. Oh, I actually don't have units.
Yeah,
you've just seen my whole army, so feel free to push. And you can see Louis immediately pushing on the right, pushing through the middle. He's decapitating sacred sites. And kiljardi went from a really good spot to... He really wanted to age up quickly, but by doing that, he gave up basically all the lead he just had.
It depends a little bit though, right? Because like the mobility of kiljardi's army right now, and you can see it, Louis is panicking. Like he's selected all villagers almost to just build this wall, and he should be able to get it up as well, right? Buying time with those few Levitani, those few units, just buying time, making sure that that wall comes up. And if he's able to sneak in here as well, the problem is you might be... Okay, sure enough, game. Whatever. But the problem with getting in here is actually you're going to be locking yourself in and effectively throwing away your entire army. What I would like to see from kiljardi right now, 3 mangonels.
Yeah, so the problem is Louis has a pretty decent farm transition. I wouldn't say he's done, and I think kiljardi aged up too quickly. Like, he doesn't have the... If you look at his eco, it's 500 food per minute. He doesn't have the eco to support Imperial upgrades. Like, he might get this Elite Knight upgrade, but is there going to be Knights remaining?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me that's a full wall.
No.
Okay, that's good.
He's just going to be able to come through.
Yeah, but...
I mean, it's still a lot of units down the drain, right? I mean, I think he's trying to hope that he gets time to actually get his Elite upgrade and actually get a little bit of a better trade than he would have had otherwise. But honestly, like, you're...
my eyes.
Yeah, look, I'm trying to puff some copium here. Okay, maybe one will come out. Maybe one will go out live.
Well, that was... I mean, his Elite upgrade finished for 6 Knights. So that's...
See, the ones I told you, it's like...
Yeah. Well, it's more like 4 Knights if you look at HP. But... You know, Louis has got to be careful about those Knights, because if they go, oh my God, see, that's why we call him loueMT. Look at that. Look at that map. If you enter the base, I guarantee you don't know your way out. I guarantee you Louis doesn't know the way out of there.
loueMT? No.
I don't know about that. Skip. So yeah, look at those walls. There's, from his base, on the right side, there's 3 layers. On the middle, there's only 1. He's got to reinforce that a little bit. On the left side, there's too many layers. It's like one of those cakes that,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
That's going to be cancelled. Okay, Bart, do me a favor, click on one of Louis' villagers. Just click on a villager. It's 95, 96.
96, and counting.
And counting. And then click on one of kiljardi's villagers. Swap perspective and then click on one of his villagers. Swap perspective as well.
He's got 16 gates. That is... Meanwhile, kiljardi doesn't have 16 walls. Think about that. I'm starting to think maybe the way to play against Louis is just cut him off the wood so he can make walls.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
That's something I gotta try.
So I am still not sure. For an engineering company or the other landmark?
For an engineering, for sure. I think actually the reason for that is the French cannons are too OP.
Right. And
they're in my opinion, they're the best bombard by far. And I mean, they can actually kill mangonels and buildings extremely quickly. So I personally think that's like...
Is this going to go up? This is not going to go up. There's no way this goes up. I mean, it's tapping at it. 2 wheels. Oh my God. Cancel it quickly.
I feel like a good adjustment for him next game is to put buildings near his base.
It's a good start.
I think that would do quite a bit better. And I think if you're in kiljardi's shoes, in all seriousness, if you played this game, you know this went really well.
Yeah.
Until it didn't.
Yeah.
Actually, you know it went bad, and then you kind of came back with the Knights.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of, yeah.
I mean, one, you threw away your knights, and then two, your age-up placement. I don't think his timing was necessarily that bad, because Louis was cut off from information.
Yeah, I think it's just the landmark positioning, you know, and there was no need for that, right? Like maybe he wanted to end the game or like push his advantage, but it was a little bit out there, and maybe if he wasn't seen, he would be able to kind of transition out of that. And we see 2 camels coming to assist.
Yeah,
a couple more.
So, okay, future steps for kiljardi though, if there is going to be a comeback. Like, looking at Louis' army as of right now, I feel like just pure melee from kiljardi almost feels like the answer. Just pure spearmen.
I mean, again, Louis never went for crossbows.
Right, yeah.
And I feel like even with the Mass Knight Horse Archer, I think the comp would have done really well. But the problem is that he went for the age up, stopped making units for a while, and he just had less units, which is kind of the biggest deal and all that. But going for Mass Knights, if the opponent is going Mass Limited A and you got some Horse Archers or crossbows, can still work pretty well. I mean, he's going to try to hold on here. He's got some farms going on, which is pretty nice, but Louis does as well. And, you know, he's age 4, he's getting his upgrades. In the end, by the way, I just realized this, he got 5 relics.
Actually did end up having that, and 3 of them is inside of the Grand Winery as well, so his oil income right now is through the roof. Should be able to, like, honestly, you should, I think at this point, you should almost have 100% uptime on creating and making bombards out of the Grand Winery.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do something crazy. You can't just be like, I'll just make knights and streltsy. Like, you need like 7 mangonels like he does have, and you gotta be like, you know what, just run into them, and maybe if I kill his army twice like that, it's a way to come back, but you can't really do it with normal units. I think at this point, even like run-bys, you would need to kill absurd amount of villagers for that to actually work. So yeah, I mean, he's doing the right thing at this point. He's making a lot of mangonels. Can we check if he got the upgrade for the mangonels? Because if he did that, then he might have a decent fighting chance in the
Siege Workshop.
So he did not get the high armory
Siege
one.
Workshop.
Can we check the Siege Workshop one? No, he did not get it yet. And that is a massive upgrade. Like, that makes mangonels actually really good in Imperial.
Yeah. Now a little bit problematic as well. It's going to be revealing his hand a little bit. The main problem for me is what's going to be tanking? What's going to be the front line for these mangonels? He's making them his 2TC. It's been that for quite a while now. Still down in eco, but as you can see right here, there's like 5 knights fighting there, and there's nothing else protecting the mangonels. Doesn't even have the upgrade, doesn't have the university upgrade, doesn't have the unpacking upgrade. There's just basically pure Castle Age man-at-arms. Like, yeah, it should be able to clean this up, but right now, this is playing a really big part. Louis, right now, with all this food, you see him immediately, he's just like, okay, let me make some more camels, let me just chill, because he can pretty much almost kinda just go into Limitane horsemen at this point. He has the cannons to be able to take down these keeps, and as of right now, this is just a slow bleed from kiljardi, just trying to see if he can make anything to actually get out of this pinch he's in, but I don't really think that's doable.
I mean, he might try to, you know, tire his opponent out. Maybe he's trying to stay in the game. Although he is the grandpa, so I don't know if that's going to work in his favor. But the cannons at the front are going to be really hard to deal with because he can just slowly siege him. Like, he doesn't even need to push, and he has 3 sacred sites, 4 minutes and 35. So it's not like Louis needs to push. He can just kind of chill from this point on, and kiljardi is actually the one who needs to do something because of the sacred site timer, and we see the mangonel count increasing. But like you said, when eventually melee units charge, how are you gonna defend them?
Yeah, I mean, streltsy do kind of okay.
Yeah, if you have enough of them.
If you have enough of them, like, honestly. But yeah, like, this is just such a big problem. I feel like just that keep could have just been a wall.
Oof, he needs another 20 of those. So we see Louis is not spending his resources. Okay, he had about 2k food there for a second. Oh yeah, he's going to do a mass switch, and that's actually a pretty good choice because they cannot be blocked. So they can just charge on top of the mangonels and just kind of butcher them really fast. We see another layer of walls and another layer of walls on the right side. And there's, there's more walls there. And there's more walls on the bottom side. I'm kind of hoping for walls above that wall because that, you can see on the minimap, that part is not walls.
Yeah,
so.
that's...
there's another wall. Okay, yeah, and then we need one in between those Oh, that's a
Oh,
stone wall.
whoa.
Okay, we're transitioning.
Ooh.
And then we need another wall right there above the top sacred side to just kind of complete that. And yeah, Kiljardi has to move out, you know, and Louis knows this, so he's just waiting for him. But there's units that he does not know that they're waiting.
Yeah. And this is where that spearman transition would have come in really, really handy, especially. Like, because that's the thing. Javelins don't do bonus damage against them. Like, yeah, they're range units, but they don't do bonus damage. And a Just 4 crossbar is finally actually now coming in as well. Magodal's almost starting to become an effective sieging tool here as well, but Bombard Towers, just everything. Like, the multitasking of Louis right now is just putting such a stranglehold on Kiljardi. This is more control groups than I think Kiljardi knows exists.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, he's going to push through the middle, and I'm not sure if Louis is giving up on this. He is doing a lot of eco damage behind it. 55 villagers killed, and Kiljardi still doesn't know, by the way. He is pushing through. Louis is cooking his villagers in the back, left side, right side, and he's just kind of waiting for him. If you look at that unit count, that is a lot of units he definitely does not want to be facing right now.
I mean, so, follow-up question though, is actually going for Sacred Sites like the win condition Louis should go for right now? Or is it just like, okay, whatever?
So it is, but because he's killing villagers, he gives up on it. So he realizes, I actually don't need Sacred Sites anymore. I have just massive eco leads, so I can transition to having a different type of win condition. But that is a lot of Mangonels right there.
It is based on the assumption that Kiljardi is actually decapping a Sacred Site though.
Right. That's also true. And the Cataphracts, I'm assuming they're about to flank from somewhere. They're still hiding. They're shy a little bit. And there we go. It's a distraction.
Yeah, I mean, villagers just joining the party a little bit for fun. Torches out. It's their lighting dance thingy, whatever they're doing. Cataphracts on the backside right now. Just elite upgrade, just mowing down the entirety of the army of Kiljardi. And that is 1-0 for Louis.
Wow. That was a very back and forth. Like, again, I feel like both players could have won. It was very good for Louis, then it was very good for Kiljardi, and then it was very good for Louis, and he kind of carried it home.
I mean, it was ping pong, but it was like you serve and then you respond and then you like the other person just smashes. But this time the smash actually hit the ping pong table.
Right, so are you saying that Louis let Kiljardi get a little lead, like when you're playing with a...
I mean, so the thing is, like, you shouldn't always just go for the point on the serve, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, when like the opponent just like gives you a really nice ball, like he flips it over so it goes in a really nice bow, and then you just like you have to smash it. And like this was one of the times where that smash going down actually hit really well. He actually hit it.
And then he gave the same to Kiljardi, and Kiljardi just like his racket fell out of his hand and hit the opponent in the head.
I mean, it's old, so maybe he has like arthritis or something, so he can't really hold it.
Or maybe he just kind of fell like he was holding the racket.
No, because he was sitting. I mean, he's obviously already in a wheelchair playing ping pong.
Right.
We used to do that in high school. Like, we would have like rolling chairs like this, and you would play 2 versus 2, but one person's job was just rolling around the cart.
You guys are weird.
Yeah. I mean, for a while, we also played with our hands. We had ping pong tables, but we didn't have rackets, so we were playing with our hands.
That's sad. That's so sad.
Public school, by the way.
Yeah. So next game is going to be on the question mark, and we have question mark versus question mark now. Who's favored?
I think the exclamation mark is.
Wow. Okay, let me look at these civs actually. I haven't.
All right, let's actually do a little bit of a draft.
I haven't taken a. Let's get serious, Scout, for a moment, please.
Yeah.
So we see on Kiljardi's side we have French, OTD, Abbasid at the end. I know where he's going to play Abbasid already. I can predict that. Ayubid and Mongol, and Louis has JD, HRE, Byzantine, Ottoman, Japanese, and Malian. I feel like Louis got a way better draft.
I think so too. I mean, so there's 2 parts of me here. Like, I'm looking at Kiljardi's draft, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good draft for me, because this is pretty much all the civs I play, except for Mongols.
Like I don't look at these civs and I'm like, yeah, that's good for Kiljardi.
Yeah, no, it's good for me personally.
Right.
Because that's the civ I like to play. But like in terms of meta, like Louis right now, I feel like he just like has a response to pretty much everything he wants to do. And I'm actually really hoping, by the way, that this goes to Basin, because we haven't yet to see Basin.
It's a pretty cool map, actually. I played it, it's plays good, works fine. So yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. But I think, yeah, like you said, like Louis plays all these civs. Like he plays HRE, he plays JD, he plays Ottoman a lot actually. He plays Japanese so, but he also plays Malian. So I feel like all of the civs he has, it's not like, ooh, that's his weaker civ. He's good with those.
So one of the things that actually is funny, if you have a problem with basin or coastal cliffs, you can just yell at Ailey outside.
Right. Is he still here though?
I think so.
Okay.
Really hope so.
I got no problems with him, so.
What about Water Drake then?
What was that demon map you made?
Water Drake?
Was that Water Drake?
Yeah, the one with the...
I can't. That was the rough times.
It was a map of all time.
It was a map. You could play it. Let's just say that.
I think it actually broke it.
And we see HRE versus Mongol.
So, normally I wouldn't ask this question because there's because there's a coin flip of Mongols having their TC, like their TC covering the Uvu. But on Gorge, the chance of that I feel like is so slim. Does HRE actually go for a Spearman opening here?
Honestly, HRE can do like anything here.
You think so? Like they get, like you're tower rushing with your prelate, a villager, and 3 spearmen.
And it's probably really good.
It's probably really good.
It's probably really good. Yeah, this is so. I was looking at the civs that they got. So why did Kiljardi pick Mongol here? I think he was trying to get Malian versus Mongol. That's the only matchup I could think, because the rest of the matchups would be Ottoman. JD is very good against Mongol.
Yeah,
and I don't think he wants to play against JD. Don't think he wants to play against Ottoman. He definitely didn't want to play against HRE. So the only civ that he perhaps could have gotten was to play against Malian. And, well, he did not get that. And that was I think, big leap of faith to take. And now he gets a matchup that is really, really rough. But I'm not sure what he's going to go for, actually. Because tower rushing against HRE doesn't usually work too well. Because if the HRE goes for Spearman, then they move faster. And, well, that's pretty good.
So like, there's also the other thing as well, right? Which is just like, just chilling, just vabbing, and kind of just doing nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it was a different map, you can go like fast age up trade, right? But on this map, trading is really rough. So again, I'm not sure what his plan is going to be. And actually, Louis, he doesn't do that. He actually goes for a fast age up, so no spearmen at all. He will just be aging up as fast as possible. And on the other side, we do see spearmen coming. But, it's Gorge. Like, he goes across the map. Okay, you deny gold, so no pro scouts. And then Louis can just put a chapel on woodline and make like 10 farms.
Yeah, and you're kind of just like, oh,
it's like, yeah, that it didn't really do much. And the woodline is safe, right, in Gorge, so the chapel is usually really good for HRE on this map as well. So I think Kiljardi has to come up with something wild, and we saw he was wild in the last game, right, with those archers. That didn't work out, but came back to some other stuff, and we'll see what he decides to do in this one.
So, going back a little bit to the draft, though, while we just have like a normal... Your average tower rush coming in here. I feel like this early in the draft, playing Mali on Gorge just is such a bait. Because I feel like Mali on Gorge to begin with is not that great of a civ.
Yeah, the thing about civ drafting in tournaments, if you pick a civ wherever it makes sense, you will get completely countered.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So you kind of have to spice it up, and sometimes playing a civ on its bad map is actually a very good move. And sometimes, when you put your opponent in a position where it's like, if you're leading, for example, when I played against Dembo, right? When I was leading, I would never pick Mongol on Lipany. I only picked it because I knew there's a very high chance he will pick Byzantine.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a do or die situation, so you need to pick. You need to pick your best civ.
Right. But sometimes in this early series, some players take the risky route where it's like, well, I'm going to pick this, and I hope I don't get a bad matchup. And some players like to go, you know what, this makes the most sense, so I'm going to kind of go with that. And you have to read into the players a little bit. And I would say Kiljardi is one of the wilder ones. Like, you'll think he'll pick this, and then he'll be like, because you think that, I'm going to pick something fourth that, I mean, sometimes you get these matchups, but sometimes you get a matchup you want.
It's the age-old wisdom he has, right? He's old. He's wise.
Right.
Well, he's old.
Maybe 2 wise. The sheep are on the wrong side. The chapel is not buffing them right now. Archer range is coming up. Now the interesting part is archery does pro scouting, right? But on this map, and I feel like in this situation, you can't just skip and just go mass farms here. You're already behind on pro scouts, and I feel like because Gorge is so kind of clumped up in the back, you can just add 10 farms and just kind of play the game on from there. You see the tower finishing, so that gold will be unavailable for a while.
Yeah, and that's also a thing, right? It's like, again, why I think Mali is so bad. It's like, let me move out. And it's like, oh, right, yeah, so my options is literally on the other side of the map and also on the other side of the map.
Yeah, so this is one of those things where this is map specific. Like if this was other maps, sometimes the gold is like just behind the stone in Louis' base, you know, and you just go there and it's like, okay, why did you do that in the first place? But yeah, like you said, it's pretty far out. I mean, all the other gold. So Kiljardi is blocking the gold. So he can opt for a strategy where he just blocks all the other golds and tries to keep him with no upgrades, no eco upgrades or anything like that. But one of the most effective ways to deal with Mongol is to actually just mass any units and just go directly towards their gold or towards their Uvu and basically block their gold too. So it kind of becomes a weird game of both players cannot get gold at all.
And it's really great, right? Again, right? If you actually want to go for that play, Gorge is perfect for this, right?
Yep.
Like, I don't know, like 20 minutes in game, you still have like your wood line being covered by Aachen almost.
Yep.
But that's I mean, already here we do see the pressure, right? The HRE archers moving quickly across the map, kiljardi responding quite nicely. Arkeshik's coming out as well. Hasn't upgraded the spearman that's in there just yet, and well,
he did get bounty for that.
He did get bounty.
Yeah, or pillage thing.
Pillage?
Whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. But he did get it, and now he's gonna emergency repair it back up, so he might get it again in the future. But if you look at the unit count, this is kind of why this matchup is so rough for Mongol. Every civ can do this counterattack, but Atri, because of the chapel, can mass so many units. Kiljardi has 2 Keshiks, and he's fighting 8 archers, 2 spearmen.
Yeah.
And he is already blocked from the gold, so further Keshik production can actually make another one. And after that, he's kind of cooked for those. So as long as Louis pushes, he can actually just camp in front of his base and wait for Kiljardi to run out of food.
I mean, unironically, right now you just do a tower rush. Like you just pull one villager and build a tower.
Yeah, you can.
Like.
And this is why sometimes this can turn into like weird games. And we talked about how the golds are so far. Well, if your opponent is sitting in their own base, that gold is not really far because there's no risk anymore to it. You know, you can just go there. It's not like he's going to counterattack. Oh, I can't believe that happened. Goes down there, loses a sheep. And yeah, so we'll see what next choice Louis does. He's just full producing units right now. He's probably going to ignore the tower. And I'm assuming he's going to go for that top gold, eventually get some upgrades in there. Now, Kiljardi is going for Mass Archer, but he's fighting not against Louis. He's fighting against Louis and the chapel.
Yeah, and right now, right, the name of the game is like who can mass units faster, and the person that has an inspired eco kind of just
one guy
wins.
has double units from the other,
like,
you know,
yeah,
so
like guess who has the better eco, right? We'll try to see if we can get a little bit of idle time, maybe a villager pick here, if he's quick enough on this draw. Should be able to actually get one. Nice pinch there, gets one villager, and so just a little bit as well. One thing though, sheep is slowly but surely running out for Louis. But Barry's still gonna be inspired.
Yeah, gets a little bit too confident there, and we see, I think those 5 villagers are going to go to get that gold finally at the top side of the map. Like, again, he has full map control. Ooh, that's just... Okay, he can actually get boar. This is actually a sick position, because he can plop down like 2 or 3 towers and just get boar, deer, and gold. So it's like a... Oh, that looks like a boar play, actually. So that's a very nice tower. That tower is going to have like longevity through the next probably 20 minutes, getting resources here. Oh, those Keshiks arrive right on time, actually.
Right on time. It's going to kill one vill. I mean, this is great timing. I highly doubt that a lot of villagers will actually survive this. Should pull the boar, be actually able to get this one, but the micro here pulling one villager away. Should go down here, jump back in, right? And there's 2 villagers down, so 3 villagers dead for Kiljardi here, but this does mean that this tower should go down.
Yeah, very nice play from Kiljardi, getting those villagers, and now the awkward part is those 3 villagers cannot go for the boar because they'll actually just die to the board. So he's gonna just opt to go for gold. And yeah, those Keshiks, if they just idle like that back and forth, it's gonna be super, super annoying. So Louis down 3 villagers and another 3 that are just idling right now. He keeps going back and forth. And very nice play from kiljardi. Back in his base, 24 archers.
Yeah, and we do see actually a move out here as well onto the dare, right? And honestly, this is weird to say. A move out on the dare.
Well, yeah. What year is it?
What year is it?
So we see a lot of archers, and one thing is sometimes you misread these games. You know, Louis might be like, okay, now I counter push again, right? But he has more archers right now, and basically a couple of volleys from these archers will eliminate the spearmen, and then the Keshiks are back in play, and it can get very, very dicey for Louis very, very quickly. So again, same thing as last game. Bad start from kiljardi, right? Not looking good. Then comes back, looking good right now. But let's see where the game takes us after this.
Let us see, indeed. I mean, the Con Hunter is standing in the back here, allowing kiljardi to actually be kiting at least HRE archers quite effectively here. Those spearmen going to be tanking a little bit on the front line here. Keshik number, though, basically non-existent. Well, now it is non-existent. As archers and everything just kind of standing still there. The movement speed from the HRE is superior, though, however. And now Louis started that little farm transition a little bit as well. Berry started to be worked on as well now, and kiljardi should be able to get a little bit of gold here, and so is Louis, so that means some upgrades. Now, which one do you prioritize? Do you go for eco upgrade? Do you try to see if a little bit of a blacksmith +1 ranged armor, +1 ranged damage will have an effect here? What do you go for?
I think because it's such a... Like, this game can end very quickly. You know, like one bad fight from one of the guys and it can end. As kiljardi, I would 100% go for +1/+1 ranged armor and attack. I would actually love if he moved his deer stones forward, because you have more range, like you mentioned. You have the con arrow. Your opponent has movement speed. So if you bring the deer stones forward, your opponent actually loses that advantage, so you just have more range. And it's actually, you might think it's like a small range advantage. I think it's 0.5 in feudal age. But if you just get your shot a bit faster than your opponent, you can actually rack up a lot of kills and end up having higher archer count. And if you look at the archers, that is not good. Louis has to make spearmen. And the interesting thing is, kiljardi does not have to make Keshiks. And you can see that Louis is kind of baiting himself into making wrong units because of it.
Yeah, that's 2 villagers, like, guaranteed to go down. But this is the point as well, right? Like, if you actually had a little bit of scouting information, you would actually be like, okay, let me go for man at arms.
Yeah, so 45 archers now. This might be 100. This might be a 100 archer game. Still no military upgrades. He did get the survival techniques for the deer that he's going for. And as kiljardi right now, you have full map control. So you can also grab the boar, you can grab the other deer pack. Now the wood line is no longer a gorge wood line. This is a very far wood line, and he can actually cause an idle time there. And if he causes idle time on the wood line, then Louis will not be able to make archers.
I mean, this is what kiljardi wanted to do last game as well. Like, we saw the start of it, but Louis responded appropriately. But now we actually do see a properly how this is supposed to go. And the con movement speed being used there, dive pass, costs a lot of idle time, pushing in completely off of it. Just find one villager. You have the con there with you. It's not that hard to see anything, but right now the TC is just firing so much right now. Now caught on the other side of the map, and trying to see if he can kite back. Wants to move a little bit further up into where a lot of those villagers are left out to dry, but should have the towers to do that. But right now the army numbers for kiljardi is looking strong, but so much of it is split up. There's 2 armies right now for kiljardi, and one of them is losing, one of them is not going to find a whole lot to do. You might find a little bit of villagers here, and maybe a little bit on the other side as well, but no, should not find anything. And this army from kiljardi right now is just dead, because HRE is just going to be catching up. That con movement speed is not going to do too much.
kiljardi still is in a better position, but I'm getting a little bit of flashbacks from the last game. Like, I feel like he almost had double the archer count, and then he decided for this run-through, which costed him so many archers. He's still economically ahead, a lot of idle time. So, he's still ahead, he's still in a good spot, but he needs to kind of not throw the advantage and continue doing what he's doing. +1 and attack and armor is done for Louis, and kiljardi is floating 700 gold.
Yeah. And at this point, right, it's like, okay, I feel like Louis should just be adding at least like, you'd be like, okay, I have food, I have a little bit of wood, or sorry, gold, and just make like 3-4 man-at-arms, right? It makes the micro so much harder. It makes these run-bys a lot more micro-intensive for kiljardi, and that's a problem for it.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see the income for both players. Louis, 19 food per minute. I guess the idle time did really do him bad. Okay, he's producing villagers. I was going to say, I wonder if he's even making villagers at this point.
Yep.
He was, +1 is coming, so that's very good. So kiljardi has multiple options here. As Louis, you have to make units. You're in a bad spot, you will die if you stop making them. As kiljardi, you can actually choose to, you know what, I'm just going to age up. And if you do end up aging up, you can have upgraded units. And now we see kiljardi, look at him. Smart, he's going to go back into Keshik because he realizes there are no spearmen.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of those mind games we talked about earlier, right? And needs to be careful here not to lose any villagers, right? He has an 8 villager lead right now, which is really, really strong right now. Could actually potentially be getting more here as well. Louis responding quickly on this one. Barely into vision and immediately starts moving. Actually kind of all army hotkey back here a little bit, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so rough. No wheelbarrow as well. Like, kiljardi is doing a really good job doing these run-bys. Now, if anyone is wondering why is Louis pushing, like, is he crazy? Why is he doing that? -1. Why is he doing that? So the reason he's pushing there, even though it looks like a crazy idea because he actually has less units, he doesn't know if his opponent is aging up. So if he sits back at home and kiljardi ages up, gets the upgrades, he's dead. So you kind of have to see, like, is my opponent still making units? Is he aging up? What is he doing? So
there also is another unknown as well, though. Is kiljardi trading?
True. Yeah, I mean, he has no idea, right? It's not the greatest map for it, but he could have had a couple of traders going and going for that boom. +1 range attack is about to complete, and that's going to put him at even stage. 6 Keshiks, 2 more coming, and there's only 3 spearmen. So Louis, when he did the push out, he did not see the Keshiks at all. So this is going to be a tear. Next fight is going to be very, very hard for Louis. And kiljardi knows, you know, I only got to push into the chapel. I can push into the wood line. He knows what his goal is. And Louis is going to have a very, very hard time defending this. And he just saw Keshiks. I would expect he's going to queue up spearmen if he had any food in the bank. So
yeah,
let's see.
Honestly,
let's see if kiljardi is going to commit or he's going to just poke around.
What was that laughter?
I don't, wasn't me.
No, it was some unit. I'm just not sure which one. But yeah, so yeah, it must have been in game.
Horror movie type of laugh. Yeah,
It's like a goblin.
What the like? What the hell?
But yeah, like one of the things right now is like kiljardi, like the 3-1 prediction you were talking about, could start pretty damn well here as well. Though main problem right now is like Louis is starting to box himself in just a little bit. Like that wraparound, that drive-by that he wants to actually go for is quite hard to do. Look at the scout micro as well. Like, have to commend that. Actually, like, microing his scout while this is going on to make sure that he has information is just absolutely insane. And you can see now Louis is starting to make a little bit of a little bit of spares again now that he actually seen this entire Keshik mass. The problem is getting into this clumpy situation, these choke points. These archers from kiljardi and Louis will have a really big fight. And these Keshiks, I don't know if they can actually properly get in on this, though. They are kind of just diving in here, though. But the archer numbers for Louis kind of just taking a lot of shots and not doing too much. And now his front line, if he only had proper eco upgrades, I feel like kiljardi at this point in the game would be doing pretty well.
We can see that Louis has 1,000 resources per minute. kiljardi has 1.1k food per minute, so that is usually a pretty good tell that it's not going well. And Louis is still not making spearmen, by the way. Now the reason he's not making spearmen is because he has no food. So the best thing you can actually make now is archers. And yeah, kiljardi is actually going to go for an age up, which is a very good move. You know you're ahead, just upgrade your units, and you can pretty much end the game from that point on. He's going to go for Kurultai, so he's not interested in playing the longer game. He just wants to end it right here, right now.
And it's actually a little bit strange to me, like, that Louis' eco is, like, his food income is so, pardon my friendship, it's so shit. Because look at, like, we talked about this, the 20-minute corner that he would have. Like, he's barely touched those there, I feel like. He's finally started to move out of them, so he has a little bit of unit. He has a little bit of food coming in, so should have some units being made here as well. Needs to be careful not to throw away these Keshiks, though, because if you do that, you won't have that many to upgrade. And,
yeah. There's no reason for him to fight, you know? Like, you're aging up, just run away. Like, see, this is one of those moments where if you're HRE, you're like, oh, my opponent age up. Let me stop making units, just age up too.
Yep.
But he is so far from age up that even if, like, next 3 minutes, he can't age up, probably because he lacks gold severely. He has only 2 on gold. And we see the upgrades coming. The archer upgrade, the Keshik upgrade. Not enough gold for... Yeah, there's a plus to ranged armor, so... Once again, kiljardi started behind, came back, this time around did not throw the lead, committed fully to the army, and is now getting further and further ahead and potentially will end up finishing the game.
Yeah. I'll have to see as well. Kurultai coming in. Movement speed is almost through as well, though, because, I mean, right now he's just moving, like, the Kurultai is moving the same speed kiljardi does RL.
Right. I mean, to be fair, you know, it's great to see elderly people still do well in esports.
Are you talking about yourself here?
No. I mean, we're looking at this game.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him. I mean, he's showing that even at 52, he can, you know, compete with some of the younger players actually in Louis, and he is going to just charge in. The +2 is almost done. He is going to wait for it, it seems like. Kurultai is right there, and I think he's just going to
I mean, that's not going to unpack in time, though. I barely actually think they need it, though. As the Keshiks start clashing, the archers are upgraded as well. I mean, I don't see any Khan Hunters in the area, but I don't think you exactly need it right now. As the Keshiks just starting, and the Kurultai has unpacked. I mean, this fight is going one way. It's not even going to go there, because Louis just taps out and it's 1-1.
My goat.
My old goat.
Look at him. He's like, that's right. Look at his face. That's the face of a killer right there. He's like, did I take my medicine? Yeah, I did. Never mind.
Yeah, I did.
All right. So, kind of exciting, actually. I can't believe he won Mongol versus HRE.
Yeah, I mean, it's
wild.
impressive, right? And I mean, I think it was maybe a little bit just due to the lack of aggressive aggression from Louis. It almost feels like.
I mean, at that point, he had doubled the units, if you remember.
Yeah.
And it all started downhill when the 4 spearmen killed a villager on the wood line.
Yeah.
He went back, and the moment he went back, because of those 4 spearmen, I guess, there was 2 Keshiks at the top, which killed 2 more villagers. And after that, I feel like it just all snowballed downhill for Louis. He was never able to move out on the map and actually do something. kiljardi was on deer. And obviously having deer versus, well, no food gathering is going to be pretty good. So it's 1-1 right now. The next map is Basin. Here we go. So we got that going. Predictions for Civ Scout. Go. 3, 2.
I think Mali...
JD French, I think.
JD French. Okay. Very different directions. We'll have to see, though. I mean, I hope it would be really funny if both of us are wrong. Actually, quite like that. That would be funny.
Well, we know kiljardi is going to play Abbasid and Himayama.
Yeah, that's... Or, I mean,
no, he...
Abbasid...
Mm-hmm.
Abbasid and Himayama is not the worst either. Do you think just Abbasid has better matchup on the...
Same ice cream flavor, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's like chocolate and dark chocolate.
Right.
But yeah, I think... Especially...
Wait, what did you say? Sorry, Mali and End?
Mali and Abba.
Damn, you're wild. If you get that, you get a fist bump, because that's a crazy prediction.
I mean, we're waiting for them to start the draft, so... We're the Civ pickers. But yeah, I think... I mean, French is a really good option here. I just really hope that kiljardi doesn't get himself a really bad matchup. I know you're one of those people who's like, oh yeah, French Mali is actually not that bad for French.
No, it's not. It's pretty good.
What changed?
Wow, okay.
Oh,
that's
okay. I'm happy.
We're both right.
Okay, I'm actually happy we're both right.
These guys are too wild for me.
Wow.
It's going to be... Do I bleak it?
Wait.
Ottoman versus
Order of the Dragon.
Order of the Dragon. Wow. Okay, I would never predict that.
Yeah, no.
I think my first was French JD.
French
then
JD.
maybe I could see Mali being played there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see OTD and Ayubid, but those would not be my first pick. So both players wild, and this is part of that thing that I always say. Did they pick this because they think it's good, or were they like, was Louis looking at this and he went, well, he's gonna pick French, so I'm gonna pick Ottoman.
One person is happy with draft, the other is not.
Can we? Okay, I thought he fell asleep. He did not. He was kind of leaning onto the chair. I don't know what was happening there, but no, Louis is cold, blowing into his hands a little bit. You think he's not happy with the draft?
Kiljardi?
Yeah. He's got OTD versus Ottoman. I don't know if that's a...
Have I ever seen that?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's a weird matchup. It's a very weird matchup. These civs are usually not played on the same maps.
I think... Actually...
It's like seeing a polar bear and giraffe fight.
Can Twitch chat maybe correct me on this one? I think the last time this matchup was played was Anotant versus Marine Lord on Migration.
Migration?
Yeah.
Wow. That is a throwback. I would not predict that.
I think that might be it. Or it...
Yeah,
that doesn't count. There was an Otto versus OTD in the 2v2 tournament.
That doesn't count.
On Archipelago, which...
Come on. Come on.
But on land, though... Okay, so one of the things that is really interesting here, though, is the way that Ottoman builds their bases, right? Order of the Dragon AoE torch damage.
That's a little bit too far out.
I don't think so. I actually think that actually might...
No, I mean like the upgrade and
I mean,
itself. Yeah, it could happen.
It could happen for sure, right? And like the thing is, if you're very greedy in this scenario where you have your TC and then a production building and then a blacksmith, that blacksmith that's outside of the range, and then you can just torch the blacksmith and I torch the production building as well.
Yeah.
I think at least.
So this is the case of it's interesting and it's always hard to know what the players thought, right? They might be like, oh, I like this on this map, but I have a feeling this was along the lines of he picked Ottoman because there's a chance he'll pick French, and he picked OTD because he has JD. So they kind of tried to maybe counter each other's civs because you don't pick OTD into Malian, right? So he was definitely expecting. Not Malian, probably not Japanese, so either Ottoman or JD, and he was kind of looking for that. So I always like these mini games of like.
Yeah, I mean, in my head, Japanese is reserved for Himayama.
That's crazy. You think he's gonna pick? I think he's gonna play it.
Japan on Himayama?
No.
I mean,
he's got Malian and JD. Those are good civs.
That's true. I think we both agree though. Like Japanese on Dry Arabia, like. You actually do risk, like earlier, like in the draft when it was not played, like you risk having Japan versus Mongols, and it's like, okay, great.
It's a destruction.
Yeah, that's.
But then we just saw kiljardi beat HRA with Mongols.
This is true.
So
this is very true.
Wow.
All right, we'll have to see though. I mean, Basin. This is a little bit of an updated version, by the way. So, fun fact: me and Avely. And mainly Avely. I should actually not be taking credit because I just joined the call and said that's good. We actually updated. Yeah, I didn't actually do anything. Avely actually updated the map a little bit. All right, because like we didn't see Basin for a while. I was like, okay, we need land maps because else it would have been like Archipelago for Lake Nagari. Nobody likes that except me. So I thought like Basin. We haven't seen that in a while, right? Basin had a little bit of problems with sacred sites effectively being inside of
your base.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's in TC range. It's like great.
That's actually the first thing I actually noticed on this spawn that sacred site is moved away.
Yeah, and then if I remember correctly as well, Boar and this was actually my suggestion is that Boar and Gold should actually be together in the middle. And so basically they spawn at a very, very close line between the two players. So the big golds is now actually always inside of the
right, and I noticed the trade is also moved.
Yes, it's also moved. And one of the things that Avely was like a little bit worried about is like, okay, but maybe it's too close. And it's like, no, but your trade line is through the stealth forest. So it actually rewards a little bit of a scouting.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I think this is a better version. The reason in the past that we had like quote unquote problems with this map is because Delhi would be picked, and it's like they just have permanent sacred site, and you cannot do anything about it because it's in their base.
And it's not like, oh, they get a sacred site 80 gold, and it's like, no, they actually get way more. This is like you for free give them 4 villagers effectively.
Yeah. Basically, it's Delhi doesn't need to play on sacred sites. They have a sacred site already, and it's like they can't take the other 2 if they have the army. And we see twin minaret.
Taking the other sacred site, like taking your opponent's sacred site is pretty hard. But
twin minaret coming up, and we see minework palace coming out. Now, twin minaret usually does not say I want to go fast castle. It is usually let's fight in feudal. Let's see what's going on there. 4 on gold, and that makes me believe this will be Otto Chad professional scouts.
Yeah, because that's actually a thing that I literally just remembered. The twin minaret madrasa is actually just a mill, so you actually do not need to build a mill.
Yeah, you got some value there. You know, it's not bad. And Louis, by the way, so he's one of the few players that plays Ottoman a lot. So
and Tan.
Yeah, one of the few. Like B plays it. I think Cat plays it maybe. So not many people play it, but Louis plays it quite a bit, and this is not one of those, ooh, I'm going to pick Ottoman because I don't have a Civ. You know, he likes Ottoman, he plays Ottoman, so if anyone has a good idea of how Ottoman should be played, Louis and those other guys are probably the ones to check out on that. Meanwhile, kiljardi, 2 on gold with minework. This does not look like professional scouts because usually you want 3 on gold with OTD for pro scouts. Maybe it's some kind of delayed pro scouting, but I doubt. And we see the villagers are going on deer pack. So yeah, this is not pro scouting. This looks like he's just going to commit to feudal.
Yeah, and to be fair, like this is a thing that I often encounter, like in like low Conk 3, where it's like you have these. You have Order of the Dragon mains, and what they do is they usually just go auto. Like you start the game by effectively just going out on dare. You age up with the minework with like 1 or 2 vills, and then you kind of just like you just soak up so much food, and you can't really attack them in time because they still age up. They still have a lot of gather rate, so they get a lot of food from it, and they can kind of just like when you hit them with like even with Ghazi as Delhi, you kind of just go, okay, well they still have enough food to just go castle from there because they've just gathered all the sheep.
Yeah, and I think if kiljardi saw, like you said, if he saw the deer right at the get-go, he would go in Dark Age most likely. So it's a very, very good thing to do. I mean, I'm assuming this boar, if he is going for feudal aggression, this boar is on the way to your opponent, so there's no reason not to go for that too. And we see a spearman be queued up, and from Louis we see wheelbarrow. So, you know, I did say when you go the other landmark, you usually do a fast castle rush, but Louis instead is getting wheelbarrow. And it doesn't look like he's adding any production, but he has 220 wood. It looks like a castle rush, but he does have a lot of wood that he is not spending on anything. And we forgot to mention, no military schools.
No military schools, yeah. Usually, I mean, at this point, like, the...
Cancels the wheelbarrow. He sees what he sees, and he says, I'm going to cancel wheelbarrow and just rush castle, I guess, but he is facing aggression.
He is facing aggression, so I do wonder if the thought... I mean, it did just drop a production building. One of the nice things about Ottoman, though, is like their tech switching is really easy to do.
Yep.
Right? You can just like, you'd be like, oh, like, crap, they're suddenly making men-at-arms, and they're just like, okay, let me just drop 3 archer ranges.
Yeah,
because I got one of them for free.
They're cheaper and they produce faster, right? So suddenly you're just sprinting, and yeah, Louis is just aging. I mean, this is a bit of a weird one. He is doing a fast castle rush with no military schools, no units, nothing, and I feel like kiljardi is looking at this right now. He's probably clicking on the gold, and I don't know if he's gonna realize immediately. I mean, he sees no production. He has to know this is castle rush.
I mean, with that tower going up, like. Yeah, I feel like that's about it, right? Like that is like the clear telltale sign of it going up, right? Honestly, right now, I think the good call for kiljardi here that I would actually like to see is Ramtech. Perfect, thank you. He just needs to do something, right? And if you're like, I don't want to say if you're smart enough, but if you're aware enough, you actually know the timing as to when the siege is coming out.
Cal, I'm gonna ask you something.
Yep.
Did he just run out of sheep?
Oh,
Louis has like 6 or 7 on. Okay, he has a sheep there still under town. Okay, that is not a lot of food. That is that looks like a disaster.
he has
but
infinite food.
right. That looks like a little bit of a disaster because I don't know how many units can he continuously produce after this when he ages up. And he's also not fighting against 2 spearmen, right? He's fighting against soon to be 4 OTD men-at-arms, the archers. So
And he's dropped a barracks as well.
yeah, this is not like one of those where you're gonna get a few men-at-arms and push back your opponent. These are units that will actually kill your men-at-arm fairly easily. And we see the villager running to the sheep, and look at that. They're oh my god, okay, he just dropped off more sheep. I guess he was hiding them. Oh no, that's
No,
the
it's
zero
a
point.
very 0 point.
His 0 point.
There's
Okay,
a-
so he's got 8 more. Wow, the timing. It's like he knows to play Ottoman or something. It's true.
Yeah, now he's actually going to be running out of gold as well here, though. Just going to be hopping inside of that ram. I mean, you can't really do the ram hopping anymore, as it was pretty heavily nerfed, to the dismay of everyone but Dragoman. But this ram just kind of needs to sit there, and if you have Golden Cuirass on these man-at-arms, they should just be able to sit underneath this tower, just take a lot of damage, right? He has spent that 50 stone that he got for free to actually upgrade the tower, so they're doing a little bit of extra. But kiljardi needs to be careful here not to throw away, but he does get 2 villager kills. Could be even more considering how they're standing right now. Archers focusing down the lower one. Full HP on that tower, so idle villagers for a little bit. 4 villagers down, and the ram still dealing damage, and that tower is getting repaired so much. And this timing that kiljardi has is excellently defended by Louis right now. Ram goes down, army of kiljardi is dead, but at the same time there's more units coming in, looking to see if... Oh my god, he actually made another ram.
Yeah, so I was actually looking like where are the reinforcements, because I see the unit count. You know, he has more units, but he did not straight up reinforce. He actually made another ram. And this is one of the problems when you do these castle rushes with no units. Like, if you lose houses, you actually just have no wood. So now you're just supply capped. He does have men-at-arms, and those men-at-arms have the upgrade, like you said, and they have... Wait, he doesn't have +1 range armor?
No, I was gonna
Oy,
say,
oy,
like,
oy.
this is one playing Order of the Dragon, no blacksmith upgrades.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. And he has mine work, which is, like, super sad, because the upgrades are very, very cheap as well.
I mean, to be fair, we got a cheaper blacksmith, or a cheaper siege engineering.
True. And right now, he looks like Kiljardi's like, okay, you know, I did a little bit of damage. Let me try to age up. The worker count is equal, but these are OTD workers. And that's a lot of men-at-arms. That's, you got 6 right now for Louis. Mongol is coming out. And yeah, he kind of has to just back off and chill a little bit. Wow, I didn't realize earlier in the attack he didn't have +1 range armor.
Yeah,
because if he
neither.
had that, that just helps so much with the tanking and everything. From that tower. 0 point, we just heard it. Which one is he going to go for, Cal? I go Imams.
Imams. I like that.
Okay, love that.
But yeah, there was actually one thing I actually would have liked to change from Louis' play. Change to Springald. Like, you should have changed to Springald when you see that many men-at-arms.
Yeah, the interesting thing is Mongol is actually not that good against OTD because they have less units. So
Yeah.
Mongol actually doesn't hit as hard. Like, if you do the spread formation, you're hitting like 1 archer at a time, which
Yeah.
is not that great. So Kiljardi needs to try to age up, and I feel like he got caught at a very weird time. No +1 melee armor, which would do really well here against all those men-at-arms.
Yeah.
The relics are going to be yoinked. Yoink. The wolves are going for it, but you know, they'll be fine.
And this is actually kind of what I would like to see earlier on the first initial ram push. It's like 1 or 2 archers just hitting the woodline off Louis. Because you can hit that. And you're actually just spreading it out right now. And Louis wouldn't have enough units to actually defend against those spearmen, or sorry, those early archers if they were hitting a woodline. And if that was the case, Louis would have not been in this position he is in right now. He's been in a much worse one as well.
Yeah, he's going to age up with that burger. Now, he will, you know, Kiljardi will not die here. These men-at-arms are going to be annoying to deal with, potentially cause some idle time, but he's going to be all right. Now, this is a part where Louis needs to transition to something else, because just making men-at-arms is not... That's not the go-to. Kiljardi does have archer range, so he can make immediately crossbows. And Louis is actually making knights, which already are going to get countered by the crossbows. So This is the part where with Ottoman it's kind of really awkward to play, because do you add military schools now? Do you do second TC? Do you just make mass units with no military school? And he's choosing to go for knights, so we'll see how that one turns out.
Yeah, and honestly, like, as of right now, like, it feels really, really weird not seeing a military school, but honestly, I like it. I like it quite a lot here, actually, like, seeing this going on right now. It's quite working out. And the timing that he had on his castle wouldn't have worked out if he actually did drop any military schools, right?
Yeah, that's part of the rushing, but I feel like the longer you delay military schools, the harder it is to actually make them. But he has a lot of workers on stone. Louis does like 7 right now, and he had a couple more that ended up going down. This might be a TC, maybe military schools, we'll see.
Do you mean make them as in like getting space for it in your build, or justify them?
Like
justifying
it's a
them.
lot of resources.
Yeah,
so it's like if you make them now, you're actually just stopping everything else in a way, because Ottoman economy is not good.
Yeah.
So they're a big investment, but then because you didn't make them earlier, they're gonna take another 5, 6, 7 minutes to pay off. So it's kind of awkward for that reason to actually find where do you actually make them if you do these kinds of castle rushes. And for now, Louis is just gonna go. He's just making knights. He's getting the relics, and the Mangnol number is increasing.
Yeah, I mean 2 relics, or 1 in the bag and 1 on the way in the bag. And honestly, I'm a little bit scared for the knights that Louis is actually building, mostly due to the fact that there's a burger on the opponent's side, and it's Order of the Dragon burger. So getting those spearments out for those knights, it's gonna be quite dangerous if it hits at a really bad timing, because if you have like 3, 4 knights and you're revealing your hand, and then it's kiljardi, it's like, oh yeah, let me just make a spare 2. And it's like completely just wasted resources, it feels like.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, kiljardi should overtake in units a lot as OTD, which is kind of funny because they're the ones that are supposed to have less units. But Louis' food income is 300, no military schools, he's producing siege, but yeah, kiljardi has discounted units coming from Burger, he has more income with his villagers gathering faster, he killed quite a few workers from Louis, so I feel like this might turn out to be a hard one. If you look at the Louis production tab, I mean, there's 1 crossbow coming, 2. It's like very slow build-up, and then kiljardi, you know, is making a prelate, is making 2 crossbows, getting the upgrade, so the economy is going to be better for kiljardi from here on out.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Louis hasn't gotten any... He hasn't gotten any eco techs either. Like, the first one is getting his survival techniques. And... I mean, there was originally wheelbarrow on the way, but it cancelled that to get castle due to the aggression that was shown. And right now, I feel like Louis is in a really weird position. It's a very even game state, but I think both players are like, oh, I'm behind for some reason. Like, I feel like both of them think they're behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a first of all, it's, you know, Basin, it's a map they haven't played as much.
Yeah.
Second, it's a matchup they haven't played as much. And it's also a situation they probably haven't played as much. So it's like very weird, and they both might end up playing like very passive now, because they're like, okay, I'm behind, and they're just gonna sit in their base. But if we look at the unit count, the crossbow number keeps increasing. We have men-at-arms. Louis has some crossbows going on right now, and the Knight Harass has been pretty good. He's taking another relic, just yoinking it in front of his base, and the wheelbarrow is about to finish, so the bleeding on of the villagers will stop. A little bit.
Yeah, it's right now, I mean, a lot of the army value that Louis actually has is in those mangonels, those 3 mangonels. The ranged mass from kiljardi is not that great either. Mainly due to the fact that it's order, but considering he's still making a lot of crossbows.
Yeah, and we see second TC from Louis, so the longer this game goes, it is going to be better and better for him. Did he actually end up getting any military schools? Can we take a little peek at his base?
I'm not sure, but
I don't think there is any. And yeah, Sipahi's switch is going to be really good, right? No spearmen.
Well, 1 spearman. H2.
Actually. So, yeah. I don't think there's any military schools. I think he's just fully producing units, and he doesn't have a lot of economy to produce those units. We saw that he just took the Vizier point for military schools, so I'm assuming with this tower, he is attempting to slowly build him up. The knight harassment is still going, and Kiljardi has to do something at a point. He's behind on relics, behind on TCs, and his army currently is better if micro properly.
So, okay, talk to me. What's their win conditions right now for the two players?
Well, I would say Kiljardi has to do something now. Whether it's killing a TC or killing a bunch of units, I think he has to commit. For Louis, I feel like he doesn't have to do anything. He can just chill in his base, especially if he throws on military schools. He's just going to scale really, really well. We also have no farms from Kiljardi, right? So this is not like he has a chapel with 20, 30 farms, so he can kind of play on or going Imperial. Although he does have a lot of food, so that could be something he would do. But I feel like a player like, you know, Kiljardi, he plays very aggro. I don't think he's the type of guy to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw down Swabia and just boom from there.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Your step number one, you want mind work, so you don't have the Aachen to actually inspire your villagers, and number two is your Order of the Dragon, so you don't have prelates to inspire your villagers.
Yeah.
I still actually think that one of the things that's very underrated, especially now considering the fact that he's going mind work with his army, is inspired warriors. Like,
yeah,
it's not
he have the tech? Because I see the units are. Oh no, that's the Merit Arm glowing. Never mind.
Yeah, it's the Golden Cross. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like I still think like one of the things that is underexplored with HRE is the inspired warriors, and I understand that the reason for it being more used on Order of the Dragon is you have fewer units to actually buff off, and the buff you give them is actually much stronger.
Oh, he's just gonna commit fully to Mango's turn. Not a good shot, actually. They're shooting at the melee units. The crossbows are cranking, and the Mongols are targeting the crossbows now. He needs to be very, very careful. And this is kind of the reason why the Mongols are not as good. 4 shots just landed and didn't kill a single crossbow. But Louis has some healing in there. He's got some monks healing. He's got a lot of crossbows, and wow. It's a destruction. I mean, he had to do something, right? And he just didn't end up working out. So
yeah,
good play by Louis.
You saw the frustration as well, right?
Yeah.
Saw the frustration. It was like, saw Kiljardi was up. Like, it was the annoyed face. It was a really, really annoyed face.
I generally feel like if he got +1 and he actually just kept rallying onto a tower.
He used his landmark, yeah.
Yeah, he would have probably, I'm not going to say he would have won, but he would have idled gold. And with no gold, what are you going to make?
Yeah, I think so. Like, if he had +1 range defense, and he had like 1 or 2 units just hitting the woodline at the same time.
Yeah.
Louis just did not have enough to defend that. He would have maybe, I mean, especially considering the way he was hopping out of the tower, repairing, torching, attacking, all that kind of stuff, moving, pulling villagers back. It's so micro intense. I don't think Louis has the awareness or like the APM. I actually do think, but I don't actually think he would actually have the awareness to actually pull back. And I do want to say I wish I could turn the camera around, but KP and Nili right now is like laughing at us through a window. So maybe we'll actually get them in here sometime. I actually tried to convince Hero to come do a cast.
Damn, man.
He said it was tempting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, no, you almost had me. Like, because I said like knights are meta, and he was like, yes. Would have been fun.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, so close
Actually,
enough.
Viper, he genuinely asked about the schedule for the tournament and the qualifier for AoE4, and he said it's a shame that it lines up or it doesn't line up because he actually kind of would have liked to see if he could have made it.
Yeah,
that would have been really fun, by the way.
So I actually talked to some AoE2 guys, and again, like whenever I talk to AoE2 casters and players, they're always interested in AoE4, like how's it going and stuff like that. And a couple of the players said, like once the tournament is done, they're gonna try AoE4 again, just play it a little bit. They were asking me like what the meta is. Is it like active? Is it sitting in base? And
there's one.
Let's see. There's the Abbasid. Yeah. And we already seen this matchup, didn't we?
Yeah.
He played against this exact matchup, I think.
Yeah.
So, did Louis watch that? I mean, I hope he did.
I think he was out eating.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
That's why you don't eat.
That's why you don't.
Skip food, get strategies. So, Kiljardi actually convinced me, or tried to convince me a while back, that this is the strategy. He said, Abbasid on Himeyama, that's the one. And I said,
I'm not convinced.
But he like likes doing it. I actually lost it, to be fair. So
I mean, you lost to Jiggly as well, but
right. Did you ever beat Jiggly?
oh yeah.
Stop.
No, I did.
Well,
It won me once. And
would
teams.
you do a show match against Jiggly?
I mean,
If you lose, you get permabanned. Cold feet.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, fair enough. There we go. We see both of the players just warming up, playing with moving around, or maybe they're actually in game. I'm not sure.
They're probably in game.
Yeah. So this is going to be an interesting one. Kiljardi is very convinced in this build. Like I said, surprisingly, when you play against Abbasid on Himeyama, he goes for a couple of fishing boats, and then he just masses units. And it doesn't sound good, but because Abbasid doesn't usually do that, you end up with an Abbasid that has way more units than they should have.
Yeah, it's...
And suddenly it's like, am I like dying to Abbasid in feudal? And then you defend, and then he ages up, and you're like, oh god, what is
yeah,
what is
you're
happening?
just like
it's a
you're just like
disaster.
in confusion, and it's kind of like the similar with I feel like on French a little bit as well. Like you go for dock opening, and then it's like you're like on Lakeside as well. Like French going there, and then it's like, why do they have so many knights?
Yeah. So this is one of those things where it's like, is Abbasid the best pick here? I mean, if he's comfortable with it, and if other players don't know about it or haven't played against it, sometimes even knowing about a pick, you're like, oh, he's going to play Abbasid. But if you've never actually played against it, it can be really, really weird because the units arrive at a weird time. You know, suddenly you're getting pushed by Spearman Archer and Camel Archer, and then you're like, okay, do I make archers? And then the horsemen arrive, and it snowballs very, very quickly. And Himeyama has, you know, the wood lines that are, the first one is close, but the rest of them are pretty far away. So you can actually get idled on the wood line, and the game, like I said, snowballs, and you end up losing a couple of villagers, and suddenly you can't make units.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just annoying to play against, honestly. And I feel like that is a very I don't know, I feel like Himeyama plays a little bit how old Rocky River almost plays, just like a little bit with a fish in the middle.
Right.
And I still think that was an interesting map. I still think they should revert the map to have 4 fishes in the middle.
I mean, 2 is just, you know,
2 is just like you're just like look at it and
you're
just
not
go.
gonna make
It's
anything
like,
there. You know,
I
it's
mean,
not worth it.
yeah, I think still, like, right now, if you bring back 4 fish, the deer and the pro scouts, you'd have, like, a more interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, how many civs here go for dock, right? There's 4 fish, and we don't really see fishing ships all the time. Like, we see it sometimes with certain bales or certain civs, so definitely think that 4 fishing, or 4 fishes there wouldn't hurt too much, because, yeah, deer is also pretty good. You don't have to go for fishing, but it would allow for more civs to kind of be played there.
Yeah.
Now,
and also, like, a small thing as well is, like, if you have fish in the middle or you take it later, attack moving across the map becomes so much more annoying.
yeah, I remember Rocky River when, like, the opponent has 3, like, docks on different waters, and there's an arrow ship, and you're like, oh god, how do I kill this? And then it hits your archers, and they're all like minus 20% HP because of it. So it kind of adds something unique, because I feel like we don't have a map like that, right? Where there's just boats in the middle that are preventing it to move out.
Well, it was supposed to be Water Drake, but
yeah,
or floodplains.
That map prevented people from playing it, so it had a little bit of a different effect there.
That's a fair point.
Shout out to the map maker, Cow.
Boo.
So yeah, we see military school, or military wing, sorry. Gold in
military
the back.
school we didn't see last
We didn't see it, true. We see gold in the back, so this is not super important because it is Abbasid. Wouldn't be super important usually, but because Kiljardi does a little bit of fighting and then ages up, Louis might miss the villagers mining gold because it's in the back, so kind of nice for him.
And interestingly enough as well, right, there's no move out to stone, so there's definitely not a second TC happening, right?
No, he's babooning him for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're babooning it, and that's the thing as well, right? You kind of almost already have a second TC, so you don't need to further extend your eco lead as well. And due to the fact that like knights are so bad at torching as well, your fish in the middle isn't actually going to be contested at all. He actually cancelled Pro Scout to go.
Oh wow, that's weird.
Ooh. Oh.
Wait, what did he? There's no way he just saw the dock, right? I mean, he's seen it earlier.
Yeah, must have.
So I'm trying to figure out what made him do that. Now,
so
see,
I mean,
this
he
is the
cancelled
thing,
Pro
does
Scout to
he-
go wheelbarrow and double broadaxe.
right, but this is what I mean with. Okay, Abbasid, this strategy, not like the best strategy, right? It's not a bad strategy, but not the best. But the question is, does Louis think that this is 2 TC?
Look at kiljardi as well, right? He has the barracks right now, so he's
Yeah.
actually going to.
So I feel like if you think that kiljardi will be making units, you do go pro scout, right? Because if you're fighting in feudal, you want pro scouting.
Yeah.
So I feel like that Louis thinks this is a castle rush, or that he's going 2 TC, and now he is deciding to, you know what? I'm just going to go out on the deer, but that might be a crucial mistake for him.
Maybe, yeah. We'll have to see as well, right? Like if there's a stable that's going to be dropped as well, moving out to the dare becomes a lot more challenging, and actually a lot more hard to do. And at the same time, but does not going pro scout slow down you going for your archer mass? Because like archer mass is something you need in this matchup.
Oh God, is he going for the boar on the middle of the map? He is I think he's definitely misreading this. He definitely thinks that this is either a fast castle or 2 TC, because that, like, if you know your opponent is massing units, you're not like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for the boar right between us on the middle of the map. Or maybe he's just feeling like super spicy. And now he's taking a peek at that gold, and kiljardi is actually the one going for pro scouting. So this is something that Louis will not expect or be able to scout until he maybe sees potentially a second scout, and we see horsemen already. Louis does not have enough units to keep that boar. He needs a tower potentially there in order to keep that. And that scout.
Ooh.
One more.
No.
Oh, Louis is like, you know what, just take it. And now he has no scouting.
There is no scouting, but there is a small little detail here as well, though, is the fact that kiljardi was actually very pulled away. He was pulled away from the boar, right? He was pulled on the other side of where he actually moved out. So, in the end, it's actually not that bad. And now we actually see pro scout.
Yeah, I think he misread this completely.
Yeah.
I think now he's like, uh-oh. That's a lot of... Because he sees, right? He sees the horsemen now. He sees the amount of spearmen. So he's like, oh, I should get pro scouts. But the thing is, if you now make scouts, you might end up just losing everything to the units that are on the map already, which is why you want to pro scout immediately and then commit to units after that.
Yeah, and as well, right? Like he needs to have his archer mass like building right now. And there's a lot of there's a lot of time that has been spent gathering gold. Like in theory, in my head, like he should have just had like 4 or 5 vills on gold, and then like been just like full sending it out the wood to almost just like go double. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, you should have just gone double archer range.
Yeah, and we don't see camel by the way yet, which is a little bit interesting. I mean, camel just adds so much here. These knights basically do so little damage comparatively to what they do now. And I think he saw that pro scout there from kiljardi taking the deer home. So kiljardi is doing some walling. He actually has a hole at the top side of his base, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think he knows about it. Wait, is that a hole? Question mark? Potentially.
Yes, it's a hole. Like if you see on the very edge of the minimap, there's like this little tiny pixel that goes up.
Yeah.
It means it's closed off.
All right. I mean, he's
I
walling
really
his
hope I'm
map.
right on
He's
that.
doing a omega wall, and this is the thing that I was saying. Louis, I feel like is very like what is happening right now? Like, are we fighting? Are you like aging up? So then he saw the gold mining, right? But now he saw pro scout, so he might think, oh, we're fighting. This is pro scout versus pro scout. But kiljardi is actually about to age up to castle. And if you haven't played against this, it's a timing that you have not experienced before.
Yep.
So this might turn out very, very weird for Louis, but the good thing is he's making units, so he can definitely put pressure on his opponent.
Yeah, and here again, right? We see like the torching ability of.
Oh, that arrow.
Yeah,
Miss.
again, we see the torching abilities of knights come into a great showcase for their lack of it.
Right.
Because, like, even though you would maybe have, like, I don't know, you would have somewhere between, like, 8, 10 knights at this point, torching down the dock is just, like, not an option. It's kind of just a waste, right? Because, first of all, they're slow at it. And second of all, it's like, why are you not just, like, using your knight to kill other eco and getting idle time?
Yeah, exactly. It's a bait. It just has too much health, and then you get it down to 50%, and aero ship comes out, and you're like, oh, okay.
It's like,
I'm not gonna fight that. It's not that good.
Yeah, an arrow ship has come out in the middle as well, right? So now it makes it harder for Louis to actually navigate around the map in terms of like actually rallying units. You now have to potentially even like rally in multiple steps.
Yeah.
And if you change your rally point then, and then you move your army, it's just a nightmare to deal with. And ecoing coming up as well from kiljardi, by the way. No boot camp. You don't need boot camp, I feel like.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, he has like 10, 11 spearmen, so it's not necessary. But you can see Louis is actually protecting the deer. The way he's moving his army, this is not saying you're aging up, I need to like do something. This is saying like, oh, I'm pro scouting, you're pro scouting, I'm just gonna defend it.
Yeah.
And he is doing that, but the pro scouting is getting done on the bottom side of the map. So kiljardi is getting some food in there, and once he ages up, he can actually go to cheap farms. And yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier with Rocky River. And now your archers are just dented in a little bit. And
So
if you look at the resources, there's about to be a lot of knights coming.
So how do you feel about this though? Going camel riders here?
No,
No,
because of archers.
because of archers.
You have to go pure lancer right now as kiljardi, and if you look at the resources, that's the there we go.
Yeah.
So you have to do it just because of the amount of archers.
But
If
at
this
least
was
one camel rider.
nah, you don't need it yet.
Yeah.
Like if this was no archer, like sometimes JD players go for like pure knight, you definitely queue up like 4 camel riders here,
Yeah.
and just kind of send that across the map. But yeah, this is a bit of a weird one, and I think kiljardi definitely has way more experience in this game than Louis does. So Louis is now trying to break through and try to do some damage. You can see the archers already ran home, and he is probably expecting knights. You know, he's not going to be like, oh, golems are coming. That wouldn't make much sense. So he either knows this is going to be knights or crossbows or something like that. But whenever you play against something that's weird, you don't have muscle memory of like what's going to happen next. Like, what is the next step? So he doesn't know if there's going to be another TC now. Like, is there another TC? Is that the transition? Is he going to get the relics? Is he going to just keep making knights? So again, kiljardi is probably feeling pretty comfortable. Like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what's going on, where I am in the game, and that's a pretty good advantage to have.
I think. Yeah, no, it's a very big question. Like, even though I'm perfectly like I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, cool, you're edging up. It's like, okay, but what do I actually make as JD here? I feel like the natural answer to this, the way you're looking at this, is like you go spare crossbow. I feel like I said this too much today, but French going spare crossbow is like such a waste.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Usually Abbasid at this point in the game would be on 2 TC, and they would be going Gulam crossbow.
Yep.
Right? He's not going either of those. He's actually going Knight Spearman. And like you said, as JD, like, what do you make? Okay, he's going to make crossbows, but there's Mass Spearman. Mass Spearman will kill knights and crossbows. So you kind of want to still keep making archers, and the amount of knights that kiljardi is going to have is putting JD on the defensive, which is not where you want to be.
Yeah, and also, like, this is actually really good for kiljardi as well. I didn't actually think about it. The comp is going right now. You don't have a good choice when it comes to the companions. Like, level 3 right now is like, okay, you go for the companions, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of shit because you're against, like, full knights. And then you would be like, okay, yeah, but, like, my horseman is not going to do anything against anyone.
That's
So,
a bit of a wild engage from kiljardi.
yeah,
Sorry
this
to interrupt.
feels like...
He just kind of ran it down.
I mean, do we report him for feeding at this point? I mean, I know he's a Dota player, so it makes sense.
Yeah, he kind of just ran it. I mean, I see what he was trying to. He was trying to like attack before the upgrades finished, but he kind of didn't end up breaching that, and he just ended up losing a couple of units. But yeah, he's still alright. It's nothing's over, nothing's done. I think he's now on the stone, so he's gonna look for that second town center slowly.
Yeah, and now we're just kind of throwing away units there, though. Upgraded Spearman just going to go down to nothing. And yeah, Arbitria coming in as well now. I'm not sure if they should be getting upgraded. That's a very cheeky.
Yeah, he's like, I need.
I mean, that would be a good hunting cabin.
He's like, yeah, he's like, I want that wood over there. That's what I mean, it's if he gets scouted, it's pretty unfortunate, but you know, he's gonna go for it. And we see that Louis is continuing to make knights. He really needs a camel though. Yep. Like any type camel, just make any.
And this is also the point. Like, if you go camel riders, Arbitria don't actually have bonus damage against them.
Right. Yeah, camel riders are super tanky, except against archers and spearmen.
Yeah. So I actually would not mind. I mean, your eco is practically set up for it. Like, obviously, it requires food, wood, and gold, so it's a little bit different. But it's a great all-around comp. Like, if you're able to wipe the archer mass, I would actually almost expect to immediately see a transition into those camel riders. Nice charge here, actually. Still going to be getting away a little bit, though, and JD is soon to be level 3.
Yeah, almost there, but you know, it's not. It's going to be a good little buff for her, right? But it's not going to change the outcome of the game because we're past that point where she could just mow down half the army.
Yeah.
There is a second town center. Now he has another 307 stone, which actually he can throw down another TC if he wanted to, or he might use it for some towers. Now, JD economy is not the greatest at this point because he will be running out of food in, you know, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, so he needs to go farms. But because kiljardi is eco-weak, he can actually transition to farms a lot easier.
Yeah, and like the great thing about, and like the great and weird thing, which is really weird, I can never get over it when playing JD, it's like suddenly you have more villagers on gold and you're still floating.
Yeah.
It's like the eco, like the consecration is really good. It's a really nice hidden eco upgrade, and it actually does reveal quite well like what unit you're going to be making. But yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if there's a third TC coming out for kiljardi. Remember as well, right? Like there is fresh foodstuffs, cheaper villagers, all this kind of stuff. Could we actually check if Louis has consecrated his TC? He has.
He only has 4 production buildings. I mean, yeah, it's a bit deceiving with JD economy, right? Because, like you said, the units are cheaper, but you have same worker count. But that's actually pretty good for you, right? Because you're just going to be able to produce quite a bit more. And we see actually kiljardi killed 0 workers this game. So Louis defending that perfectly, even though he's getting harassed left and right. The relic count is 1-1, and there is another TC. Now, if this was the meta, right? So if the Abbasid played like this, Louis would have just gone in right now.
Yeah, I mean, as French, you know how to handle 3 TC Abbasid. You just make knights and go in.
Yeah, so he would just go in right now. But because this is a weird one and he's facing knights, I don't even know if he's aware that there's a crossbow transition coming at all, because we do see actually he's producing Jeanne's riders.
He is.
Which is, wow.
And this is the famous, oh, right, yeah, JD can capture sacred sites.
Yeah, which is actually, I was going to say, he's not making horsemen for crossbows, but he is making even better thing than a horseman. So if this was a meta, he would be pushing 100% now. But you can see him kind of sitting back, and people might be wondering, why is he not going for it? Like, what is he waiting for? Because he doesn't know that there's 3 TC. He's never played against this. So it's a situation that he's just not very familiar with. So can we check on kiljardi's farm transition, because we see 460 food per minute. He needs to get to farming ASAP, otherwise he won't be able to produce villagers very soon. Okay, we see 2 relics. That's pretty good. 2 versus 3. I mean, you have 3 TC. If this game goes on for about 5-6 more minutes and Louis doesn't attack, the economy of Abbasid is just going to completely overtake him. But there's another interesting thing, is we have Guildhall that is, I am assuming, on food.
Yeah, looks
so
like it.
Louis could potentially go Imperial in the next like 30 seconds to a minute if he commits to gold.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well, right? Like now kiljardi is actually like his gold is, or sorry, his fish is mined out. I was about to say his fish is fished out.
Right.
But you still have middle control, right? There's still nothing happening, but he has to douse in the middle there. He's just able to just kind of like sit around and just chill and make sure that rotations are a little bit harder. A job that is normally reserved for walls, but this is a great way of also doing this.
Yeah, let's talk about the lack of walls for Louis.
Impressive.
Is this? Can we check if that's him playing? I'm not seeing even one layer. Okay,
yeah,
at the moment. Okay, now he's okay.
Audience.
There is. Okay, it is him. We just confirmed it. He is trying to add them. Kiljardi is doing a very good job with these lancers, by the way, because he is keeping Louis in his base. You can see that the posture of the players is Louis is still playing defensive, even though he's had the army lead for a while. But soon that's going to be very equal, and Kiljardi on top of it will have way more food income. And we see that Guildhall has been juiced out.
And moved over to gold as well. So yeah, this is a Red Palace timing.
Where do you place the cow? Do you do a Kiljardi and put it in the opponent's base and cancel it and lose the game, or?
Ideally, I would actually like it on the north sacred sites. But with the pressure I'm being put on, I would like to put it right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, a little bit more forward, so it covers
the
the goal.
funny thing is, and again, I keep going back to this, but he thinks that he's like, I need to defend, right? But if you look at the work account, it's triple TC now happening, and the relics are pretty even, right? That Red Palace is good right now, but in about 2 minutes won't do much. Like, he needed a Red Palace, like you said, covering the sacred side. That's where you usually put it. You cover the gold, the sacred side, maybe some of the wood lines. So I think Kiljardi is playing this pretty well, and Louis definitely questionable how many times he has played against this.
Yeah, and it's also a little bit of weird map to place Red Palace on, or like keep landmarks, because you're just like, there's no big goals.
Right, and if you place it to the side, it's like the opponent just attacks you through the middle, and you're like, oh, my Red Palace is not doing anything. So, checking on the south to see if there's anything going on. The farming we can see on the mini map. There's a lot of farms being set up for. Yeah, that's gonna secure him for the rest of the game. And I kind of wonder what Unicom he will end up going, if he's just going to commit to Spearman Crossbow or do something else. But I'm a bit worried about Kiljardi because there's a lot of units from Louis.
It almost feels a little bit like a stalemate. Almost a little bit for Kiljardi right now, because like he's kind of stuck in castle. We often talk about being stuck in feudal. When your opponent is castle age, you need to kind of go castle, but you can't stop making units, so you're kind of in this really awkward. It's almost the same as well right now, because the second JD gets like a good fight and a good surround like this, JD is just going to be farming XP so much of it. Kiljardi is just throwing away so much army. Knights taking a little bit of a clash here now, and they're not even fully upgraded. They're just not, they don't even have royal bloodlines. They're still taking this fight against spear crossbows, still able to get out of it. Healing now going up as well, and now JD is just farming this XP halfway to level 4, and I'm almost thinking that she doesn't even need it, because John's riders right now against these crossbows doing fantastic work.
They're doing so much damage actually to the crossbows, and we see another keep. I can't do the screaming. I'm half dead.
I mean, it's just one keep.
Well, Red Palace is a keep, so it's another keep.
Is it another keep if it's your opponent, or like two different players?
Oh wow! Look at that play. Yoink.
Yoink.
Or boink. Okay, love that. -1. So, I was gonna say that's the first villager he killed, but it's not actually. He has killed more. Another game!
Okay. I mean, the funny thing is, like, that's a Red Palace keep as well, so it's gonna be taking out that other keep in no time. And now Kiljardi, I mean, due to the fact that he throw away so much army, it feels like Louis kinda has a free pass actually moving into the base, and now there's so much resources being put on the other side of the map that this is the problem we talked about the Red Palace.
Cow, don't look at food per minute.
Oh boy. Okay, but siege. But this is the problem we talked about. If you place your Red Palace on the side of the map, you kind of just go, oh well, cool, I'm just gonna go to the middle.
Yeah, and Kiljardi, I mean, the thing is, if he didn't throw away the army, right, he would have a massive army, potentially going to Imperial right now, and he would be in a really nice spot. I mean, look at the worker count. And that's Abbasid increased gather rate, that's Abbasid farms. Louis, I don't think he's even started transitioning to farms, or maybe he has a couple. Yeah, that is still a lot of guys just waiting there. So Louis right now has a chance. Now, is he going to fully commit? There's a two mangoes. Okay, this is a very good choice because this can potentially, you know, with the choking space here, he can actually work with and defend this push for quite a bit. He just needs to delay by time. The mangonels.
Oh, needs to have the mangonels in the back though. Needs to have those spearmen in front. One shot going off. Completely missing anything that has anything to do with the enemy. Just hitting the ground. Tithe bards coming in, everything coming in. And there's a crucial thing as well, right? Normally we'd be like, oh, look at Louis' food. It's kind of bad. Oh well, he has guild hall, but the guild hall is in gold. So if he ever wants to cash out, he's going to get a lot of gold, which is not exactly something he's lacking right now. I mean, he has 5 on gold, which is not so good, but still, like, you have a lot of this movement out on kiljardi and denying resources, playing a little bit like a deny game. And honestly, the further this game goes, the more scared I am for kiljardi, because Louis. And you know this, Louis late game is a lot better than Louis early game.
Yeah, and we do see, in fact, another keep right there. And that keep will finish. He will lose some villagers. Okay, will it finish? Not again. I've seen this one before. Okay, it does finish. Okay. So that's good. Now, this would be terrible. This would be like game-ending damage, but he is still 30 villagers, literally 30 villagers ahead. Yeah. So he's still doing fine. But I'm a bit surprised he hasn't made more farms, because he has a lot of wood, and he is struggling for food right now to age up. So he's kind of just holding off of that, and kiljardi is playing so aggressive. Like, I feel like he's playing like they're on equal footing in terms of army and in terms of upgrades.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same as the last game, where it's like, okay, we're unsure about this game state. Like, we have never seen this game state before. You still have some berries. Please take those.
Okay, he's making a lot more. So he's going to be probably up to 60 farms.
Something like that,
which is going to be quite crazy income compared to Louis. That's at 900 right now, and he is actively trying to switch. But like you said, his guild hall is on gold, and that's cool, but not what he needs right now.
I'm tempted to say like he's preparing a siege transition. Like, concentrates on siege is pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, he could do that for sure. University, do we have any upgrades in university yet? I don't.
I mean, he should have.
Nope.
No.
Got nothing yet. So, so he did get that, but no gold. I mean, no resources. You can produce units cheaper, but you don't really have resources for biology right now. So kiljardi is playing very aggressive, and we kind of see like Louis' unit army size has not increased in like the past 2-3 minutes. And that's due to lack of food.
But we might have a little bit of an interesting fight now. Might be a repeat of the last one though. Horsemen coming in from the side. Mangonel still trying to do a little bit of damage. Don't forget them too much though, as the arbitrary account went down a little bit, but I don't think all of them is here. JD farming and snacking off of this one though. Mangonel 1 goes down. Just 1 more to go, and JD having a fun time just queuing this. Remember, she is ranged. Some easy shots on this one from JD, and that's just pretty much it from her. That is it. Level 4 gonna be almost in, but a good fight for kiljardi, and this is a really good time, it feels like, for him to actually be aging up. He needs to click that age up button very shortly. Look at that though. 4,400 wood in a bank, almost floating up to 5,000 wood, and he's just reinvesting more into units.
Yeah, so this looks like a bad fight for kiljardi, but because his eco is way better, obviously you don't want to lose a fight, right? But because his eco is way better, he can remax here quite a bit. Now, what I would love to see, he's transitioning into full gulam, which is... There's 24 crossbows. What I would love to see is actually just spearmen, horsemen, and just send them everywhere. Just send like 20 units on the top, 20 through the middle, 20 on the bottom, because his food income is what's going to be very impactful here, not his gold income. So you kind of don't want to eat up your gold as you're trying to age up, because you need to get a lot of good upgrades. But I think the momentum that kiljardi has, and just the amount of units he's able to produce, like when you're killing keeps with red that have red palace upgrade with spearmen, that's a decent position to be in.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well, right? Like you're saying, spearmen, horsemen, and, well, gotta remember, like, Abbasid, with their income bonuses, with all of their eco upgrades, they're just like the king of trash, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can afford that so easily. The farms are cheaper, you're gathering the farms pretty quickly as well, right? He has the farm upgrade in the House of Wisdom, and he should be doing what Louis is doing in River. Like, he should be... The cards should be flipped right now. right?
Yeah, he's bleeding a little bit too many units here. Now, that was idle 15 workers the whole time there, and if we look at the food count, he needs potentially, can we check on how many barracks he has? Because he has 2,000 food and is perma-producing units, but I feel like he doesn't maybe have enough production. Oh, those stables are idle herds.
Yeah.
He could be printing horses right there. Okay, there's more barracks coming out. He's got a lot of
F1.
upgrades.
Press F1.
Is that Formula 1? There's more barracks. And again, Louis, 1k food. Remember 3 minutes ago said he has 900? He has 1k now.
Yeah.
That is not a very big increase. So I think Louis is winning all the battles. And if you look at the destruction value, it's soon to be double.
Yeah.
So kiljardi just needs to trade a tiny bit better, and he will be able to just outmass Louis completely.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well, right? Guildhall was popped. I think it was about 1,800. Biology went through. Incendiary arrows is coming as well now. So, you know, imp upgrades is going to be coming out pretty quickly, and Culture Wing was the choice for kiljardi. I don't think he has time to actually get Preservation of Knowledge before, like...
No, you gotta send it here.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have time to. I mean, he should get it.
You
but you don't
should
have
still
time
get
to,
it, right?
To wait for that, and that is, if you look at the army count, Louis has more than half of his army is just ranged units, and we still do not see any horsemen on the map. So this is one of those things where, you know, kiljardi knows you're supposed to make them, but you get sort of caught up in the moment. You know, the game is going on. You don't have a moment to think. You're just massing units as much as you possibly can, and you can see he cannot spend his food. He has so much food, he's almost capped. An opponent is in his base. So every trade that goes from here, even if kiljardi trades 1 unit for 3, or 3 of his own units for 1, he will still be winning the game. So he just needs to continue fighting as much as he possibly can, and try to take good fights as best as he can.
Yeah, it's still pretty decent, all things considered, right? Like, you can just throw spearmen into crossbows, you know. Will eventually something will happen. The problem is they're Arbitria, right? So they have that +5 armor as long as he has gotten that upgrade. But in the back here, though, kiljardi is doing quite a lot of damage. Like, eco count, I mean, looking pretty solid so far. Like, Louis, I don't think he has dropped a second TC still, so any villager that's happening, or any villager kill that is happening right now is still pretty good, but now Bombard's coming in as well, and look at this, though.
Yeah, he's going for the stable, which is kind of funny, because Louis is probably like, oh, I need to kill the stables, but there is no horseman coming. So I guess priority being a little bit, I mean, priority is good, but nothing is being produced there. And these units are still there just killing workers, and Louis is killing them on the other side, but triple TC versus 1, like you said, that's going to be a lot harder recovery for Louis, and that army should finally be able to get cleaned up. Did we see Preservation of Knowledge in the end, or did he skip that?
I think he still hasn't gotten. Okay,
Oh,
he has
did.
gotten it.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Cool.
So,
Good.
+3 range armor would be really good. We see JD upgrades coming in, the rest of the really good ones. So both players upgrading, looking good. Now kiljardi does like university upgrades still, but he does have more units, and I feel like Louis might be just taking way better trades right now.
Yeah.
For way too long as well.
Yeah, and normally it would be like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. But the problem is, like, kiljardi with like the food income, like literally any income he has right now is just so insane that it's actually possible for him to actually be taking these extended bad fights still. And that keep is a very, very, very yeah, sure, that's a very hopeful keep, but he's actually able to push this back, though, as Golem's actually being able to kind of actually able to deal with this, but now the Archer Mass coming in as well, so, and Horsemen going back on the Arbitria as well, and the crossbows, these are not Arbitria, they're just normal crossbows, so fighting with these Horsemen, actually, yeah, they're Horsemen. I was confused there for a second if they were actually John Riders, but they're not, and these fights, they're looking scrappy, but still, they can sustain it, both of them at this point. I mean, Louis, not so much, but...
You know what's funny? He keeps making crossbows, but actually there hasn't been any armored units for a while. It's been Jeanne's riders, horsemen, archers, and crossbows. So he's kind of been stuck making the wrong unit type for a while now, and yeah, I don't know about that. He's gonna try though. Wait, is he trying to mine the stone in Louis' base? Yep, he is. That is okay. He's gonna go there. Yeah, that was what he was trying to get to. Yeah, I mean, he's just stuck on Gulams right now. And like I said, mass Gulams is actually really good. And it takes quite a bit of micring to defeat. But if the Horseman switch does not come, even with the massive eco advantage, Louis is also catching up slowly. It will not matter in the end.
And that's the thing as well now. He's hiding back. Just at least the nice thing is you can't feed JD anymore.
That's true, she'd be level 7 right now. And yeah, he's still going on the crossbows, making more Gulams now. Louis is adding some siege. And, I mean, you gotta give it to him. He's had way worse economy for a very, very long time, and he is managing to kind of hold on. Kiljardi loves his Gulams. He's gonna go for a couple of more. But we might be seeing the beginning of the end here.
I think so too. I mean, the keep is in a really nice position. It's a lot of open space around it to actually be able to be getting some farm placements here as well. Now siege upgrades, adjustable crossbows has already come through, so it's already there. And you know, honestly, at this point, like sprinkled mangonels, you kind of just kill everything. And we're at that game state where it's, or well, the eco state for Kiljardi, where it's like.
You know what's funny? If he went like, archer, that would be really good.
Yeah,
like Abbasid archers, but the reason he's going archers not because he's like, you know what, I should go archers. I think he's out of gold.
Yeah, he's out of gold.
Workers.
Like, there's no...
Can we check on the top sacred side? There's some workers mining something.
There's no more gold on the map.
Yep.
There's no more gold on the map, so... Actually, I think there's maybe one gold vein in the south there.
Yeah, nope. He did not get his upgrades for the archers, so he would have to actually sell food. Yeah, you see the market, and he's probably going to sell food and try to get some of those upgrades as well. So... yeah, I think it's funny because I think Spearman, Gulam, Archer would have done really, really well there. I think the crossbows were such a gold sink for and just resource sink for so long, just not countering anything. And Louis is now coming in, butchering the villagers on the food, and it looks like it is going to be a 3-1.
Yeah, and this is one of like the weakest states for Kiljardi. You can see him shaking his head. He's not that happy. He knows that when these games go into just mass raids everywhere, he does not have the APM, he doesn't have the multitasking skills. He says this himself, he's just not able to actually be able to handle these, and he's able to get into that position, and there is not, unfortunately, just no way to actually get out of this as well. The farms are being idled out, and Louis has finally been able to make a little bit of a farm position. He's actually almost up to 2k food a minute. Siege together, Kiljardi tapping out Louis. It's GG.
A 3-1 in the end. Well played by Louis. I feel like Kiljardi could have won that. As crazy as it is, that was a lot closer than I thought it would be. So Louis is probably going to be happy with that win. You know, win's a win. Doesn't matter how you get there. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised. I definitely think that Kiljardi had a really good fighting chance, not to only like make it 3-2, but actually win the series. And losing sucks, right? But at the same time, you can look at that and be like, you know what, that was pretty close. I could have taken that.
All right, so we're gonna have actually something very exciting here. We're gonna be having a first of an interview with loueMT, and I really hope the tech actually works now, because we actually have a translator. Some of you might know her. It's Deep Shine. So let me see here. It's on. Manias, you need to unmute the 2 channels, 3 or 4. I'm not sure which one it is. And then you need to turn up the volume. And then if Deep Shine can come into the camera. Come on. Come on, Deep Shine. And if you speak into the microphone, and hopefully it might work.
Hello?
Okay.
Does it work?
I hope so. I mean, I feel like we should have Twitch chat, honestly, for this. All right. So... I mean, congratulations.
Thank you.
And let me see, let's do a little bit of this and get this going for you. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
First game. First question. Nervous?
Nervous?
Yes.
紧张吗？紧张吗？
Yeah, for sure.
Did was the camera adding to the nervousness?
就是那些摄影机让你更紧张吗？
对，很紧张。感觉有种在动物园当猴子的感觉。
He feels like he was a monkey in the zoo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, all right. I want to take you straight into the third game. Ottoman versus Order of the Dragon. What? Ever seen that? Ever played that before?
第三局，鄂图曼对龙骑士团，你打过这个对局吗？
没有。I never play.
You
No.
never played that.
Yeah. Yeah, we were. Yeah, it was.
你为什么选那一？为什么选鄂图曼？
我不知道学什么了，我就选这个了。
哦，你不是我们有时候你是要就是去 counter 去克制他的那个法国之类的。
别的族不太好选了，就只能拿奥斯曼了。奥斯曼不是很怕接下来的族，在那个时候的 BP 里面。
Okay, he said he doesn't know what to pick, so he picked Ottoman, and he feels like Ottoman is not. I mean, it works well with the rest of the draft.
All right. So, fourth game as well, though. We talked about Kiljardi liking Abbasid on Himayama, and the way he played it with a dock. Is that something you've seen a lot before? Because it felt like you didn't really know what to do in the early game.
第四局 ，Kiljardi 看到那边那个
I don't
打
care.
法，
You don't care?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's great. I'm gonna actually see if we can get some questions from Twitch chat, because honestly, like, this is the first time you've been outside of Europe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let me see. This needs to be a little bit closer.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's step one. So, how was the flight? How do you like it? The food?
你来旅行在这边的过程当中怎么样？那个飞机啊、食物啊什么的。
飞行是很长的，飞了20个小时，非常的累。食物方面大差不差吧，挺好吃的。
Okay, so he flew for like 20 hours. It was very exhausting. Food wise was fine. It was quite okay, quite good.
Okay. And like your sleep schedule, you're used to playing on EU, like you're used to playing on EU times and ping. How is the sleep schedule moving for you? Because I know your sleep is very bad already.
Yeah. 我来这边在飞机上已经睡饱了，作息就正常了。
Okay.
对。
And so he said he fully slept on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So his like rhythm is now normal again. So it's fine.
Oh, all right. So we have anything from Twitch chat? Come on, guys. I know you have something. I'm looking in BSD's Twitch chat. He clearly understands English. Has your English gotten better since being here?
Maybe no. Yeah.
No, little.
Yeah. No.
Oh. And has it been exciting to meet people?
Yeah. Very exciting.
Very fun and exciting, and yeah. And let me see. There's some questions. Yeah. So yeah, we have a couple of questions. Like, how many walls is too many walls?
他是问我拉墙吗？
对，就是要怎样拉墙才是拉太多墙？有这种东西吗？
在时代太早的时候，像2本没有出兵，你就直接去拉墙，而且不侦查，这种没有侦查的拉墙是我觉得不太好的，要侦查完，确定完情况再拉墙。
Okay, so he's saying that you should not war in H2 without scouting, without map control. You should always check before you do it. That's a very, very bad thing to do if you just war blindly. A very serious answer.
Okay. And do you feel like you can finally like show your true self now that you have no ping, like you're playing on LAN?
Yeah. 没有延迟太舒服。
Okay, it's so comfortable to play without that.
Oh, yeah. So, Let me see. What is your favorite color?
Favorite color purple.
Purple.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. And yeah. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else. I mean, tomorrow you don't really have anything to do. Who are you looking forward to seeing in the semifinals from the other group?
说真的，我不太确定，
你是说你不确定说有谁呢，还是说你不确定？
我不确定谁会打出来。
或者你想见到谁？你想遇到谁？
我想遇到谁？
对啊。
另外半组有谁？
Yes. Okay. Who's in on the half?
Can we show Group B?
Demu.
Or sorry, Group A, I think it is.
It's Demu, Beastie, and
Demu, Beastie, Baltune, Valdemar.
Yeah. 这四个。
I wanna see
你想对上谁？在4强的时候。
Demo.
Demu?
Yeah.
Okay. He wants to play Demu.
Just because of his hair?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because he's a good player?
Yeah.
Okay.
He will be can.
All right. But we are nearing the end. I'll do one last question. The DLC. Excited?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. You All right. Well, in that case, guys, I think we're going to call it for today. It has been a really fun day. We have our sets for tomorrow. Louis Beastie is going to have an off day tomorrow. They actually don't need to do anything. They kind of just need to see who is going to be joining them in the semifinals. I'm not 100% sure for what the actual schedule is. We will have that announced in our Discord. For everyone who's watching on any stream, KP stream, PC stream, thank you guys so much. We will be back tomorrow, and we'll see you then.